Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. North American stock futures back in negative territory this morning, giving up on early slight gains. Wasn't a huge rally we saw early, but this is all ahead of the Fed decision coming up this afternoon. Fed Chair Jerome Powell set to make his announcement on interest rates. No one expecting a change on interest rates, but the forecast on economic conditions and interest rates going to be key. A lot of market participants viewing this as an indication of when the Fed, not if, the Fed will make a move on interest rates. Raising rates, meanwhile, have capped recent rallies in growth stocks, as we've been talking about over the past couple of weeks, but also benefiting some more traditional value plays, sending both the S&P and the Dow to recent record highs once again over the past couple of days. Continued positive momentum surrounding vaccine rollout and reopening of economies has some reopening plays back in positive territory as well. Individually, though, Plug Power, big move down after market. We are seeing a bit of a bounce this morning, but under pressure. They're going to restate their 2018 and 2019 financial results. And we're watching some Chinese stocks this morning. Pinduoduo reporting better than expected earnings. It's Wednesday, March 17th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. There we go. Look at North American markets at this point. You can see tech stocks again to the downside. Just watching the 10-year right now, 16691. So growth stocks under pressure again. 1.1% for the NASDAQ right now to the downside. The Dow and S&P little changed otherwise. Look at Bitcoin again today, downside again, 2.5% today. Crude oil under pressure as well. 1 full percent to the downside. We have gold a little bit positive, but that's really the only thing at this point this morning looking positive at all. Good morning, guys. Welcome. If you're joining us for the first time, we are getting ever so close to 200,000 subscribers. If you are joining us for the first time, make sure you take a second, hit the like button first, and then go right beside it and subscribe to this channel. We get to enjoy that, but only when we get to 200,000 subscribers. So we're working on it, guys. We're almost there. We had another great day yesterday, another busy morning to start this morning. Lots to talk about. I'm just going to keep this quote of the 10-year up here beside me today just to have a look. We're now at 1674, guys, on the 10-year. So the rally continues.
Yeah. And you know what? First off, let's go happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. Certainly unable to celebrate it as normally would because we're still sort of half locked down around here in Canada. But it's going to be a big day in the markets. You sort of hit the nail on the head. You got to have that 10-year up because it's all Fed. It's all dot plot. We'll talk a little bit about that. I'm sure Mark Roberts, when he comes on, is going to be mentioning it. But ultimately, we do expect that there is going to be some serious activity in the futures in the overall market in the afternoon, even if there isn't going to be a bit of a rate change. So got to be prepared for that. There are lots of stocks on the move. Already looking at Plug this morning. A little bit of a lesson on not using stop orders this morning for me, but it is what it is. I had to get up, so I had to use a stop, and then I got wicked out on one of these crazy dark pool prints. These things are going to happen to us. Brendan, I know you wish that bottle of champagne was maybe a Guinness. I'm not necessarily a Guinness man myself, and usually the only time I'll even have it is on a St. Patrick's Day. But I see you've got the green on, Sean, although we've been outdone by Miss V when it comes to the green shirt.
Yeah, Miss V's got the money green on. We got the money green trades on. So let's hope that happens again today. Yeah, I've been to Dublin and in the Guinness factory, I guess, where they produce, and it was just an absolutely amazing experience there. The brewery. Factory brewery. It's like a factory. They have their whole little destination. If anyone's from Ireland, you guys know what I'm talking about. And then you get that Guinness at the end, at the top of the tower. It's absolutely fantastic. And there's no better drink than drinking it straight from the taps, the Guinness. But yeah, Miss V's in the green. It's gonna look. Let's not think this is not going to be a green day. Like, we're down 1.1%. We've seen the NASDAQ rally 2, 3, 4% in the day. So the S&P's only down 0.3 here. There's not too much on the imbalance locator today. There's a few names that we're going to be looking at. Sure, the NASDAQ is down. A lot of these names are getting hit. Let's just see what happens on today. We've come with negative expectations here for the Fed today. But you never know what Mr. Powell is going to say. They could be opening up a Pandora's box of more treats for us. So let's hold our cards a little close today. I am going to be looking short. I wrote down a bunch of different names to go short today, so we'll be doing that. We'll be looking at a few things. Plug is on there, of course. I like Neo short through 41. What did I write down? 41.50. Rocket's going to be in play today. Palantir continues to go down, but this is going to be a good opportunity to see what comes of the announcement this afternoon. I hold out a little bit of hope, but we're still at, near or close to record highs. So let's just see what happens. But I tweeted out last night, don't we feel like we had more money a couple weeks ago than we do now, even though the market just reached all-time highs 2 days ago. So, depends where you're invested. That's why you got to be diversified, Brendo.
All right, just watching Lennar here, guys, home builder. Some building starts data just came out, down 10%. Last month versus 2% expected. So watch some home builders. If you had them on your list this morning, let's get over to the desk to kick things off and say good morning to Miss V.
Good morning, Brendan, and hi guys. I wish us all a green and successful day. And to make it even better, please hit thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Let's get it started, Brendan.
Yeah, definitely hit subscribe, guys. As we mentioned, we're under 10,000 away from 200,000. We get that nice bottle of champagne just to my left if we do get to 200. So help us out. There it is, that one right there, guys. Hit subscribe if you haven't done so already. Let's get right into things here. It's all about the Fed. It's not about whether or not they're going to raise interest rates, because they won't today. But these comments are going to be very key as far as the forecast is concerned on both the economic side, as far as the recovery, how they think the recovery is going, and what we're going to do about these rising rates and rising bond yields that we're seeing that are affecting some of these growth stocks. Rate increases are going to come, guys. I think it's just a matter of when.
Yeah, exactly. And I believe yesterday I sort of misspoke, because I think I said there was 7 Fed officials in the plot that were expecting a rate hike by 2023. It was actually 6, but if that comes to the norm, it was 1 for next year and then 5 for 2023. And if that sort of shifts to less of a dovish stance, and I think that's one of the things people are looking for. You don't know which official is which dot, so if you try to play that bit of a game, it's a little bit difficult to decipher. But that's one of the things people are looking for. One thing to keep in mind, and I read this, and and it's actually interesting to me that 184 is where the 10-year was before this whole mess started, before last year. So it's not as if treasuries couldn't go a little bit higher before you actually get some concerns that metric that they're going to be talking about, they have been talking about for inflation, is that 2%, and it's that range. So there is a chance for them to strike a really, really dovish tone, which the market would absolutely love. I think the concern is if it's not strong enough. We've seen what can happen on the floor in some of the tech stocks, which are going to react negatively if we push over 1.7 and head towards that 1.8. But if you are thinking more in the long term, I think you're absolutely fine, and it's not really all panic and gloom and doom. It's probably going to affect the short-term move a heck of a lot more. So again, we do expect them to move the markets. Maybe they say something about their bond purchasing program. That's something. If they come off that 120 billion, that could be seen as not a great sign as well, overall for the NASDAQ. So there's no way around it. If you're trading, you're going to have to be watching very, very closely. Whether you're flat going into the afternoon announcements, whether you're looking to put on positions, you can't be trading blind on a day like today. It's generally like trading suicide.
Yeah, I'm just going to be using the same sort of strategies that we always have. We'll look for some key levels to break, and we'll just wait to see what the market wants to do off the open. I think there's probably going to be some kind of a steep sell-off there, and they were just showing the 10 years down. Over the last 2 years, 40-something%. I just saw. So there's room to grow here. I'm not worried. Again, a lot of it depends on your time frame that you have. Someone asked me on Monday, is Palantir going to $30 this week? And it was like a hard no. And then today you're going to see here. Let's just see where is Palantir, anyways. 24.60. So down another. Down another 3.9% today. As with everything, right? We talked yesterday about getting some out of DraftKings, near that 70 mark. Today down to 66 again. That, this name continues to get hit as well. Look, any of these growth names, look down. Oh, not too bad. Only 1.3%. So DraftKings down today as well. But there's going to be lots of names to buy. I'm getting ready to buy. We've been raising some capital. You guys know that. We've been talking about selling some of these positions off, and we've done some of that. But everything is heading down. Like Fisker's 21, Nikola, we saw that happen yesterday. But just keep your head sort of straight. Make sure that you're not panicking into any of these sells, and just keep your time frame in mind. If you need money now, you may want to get out. This could be a couple of rough days, but I'm just going to wait, honestly, until 2 o'clock when we hear what Powell says and what exactly comes through. They're not going to be changing the rate, but like Neil said, it's all about the talk, all about what the future looks like. So we'll just wait to see what it does. Yeah, FTCV yesterday was a SPAC you could have bought, and then you got hit if you did that. We'll see what that does today as well. eToro.
All right, guys, let's shift over to cannabis. Sean, we'll come right back to you here with Tilray. We were mentioning this late in the day yesterday. This thing got absolutely crushed all day yesterday, basically closed on the lows of the session. We're all the way down to 25.5 again, down 5%. There's no news on cannabis stocks that I can see this morning. But speaking of growth, this is going to be a group that's under pressure.
Yep, and you're right. I mean, this is just a 20-minute chart, and I mean, it's just, we've been getting hammered like just a couple days ago, man. Like, this was yesterday, and then you go back Friday, Monday, we were at 31. Now you come to 25. Like, it doesn't seem like this is that crazy, but as a percentage wise, like back on the 5th, it was 20, and then we went to 30. Like, that's huge. That's 50% increase in just over 2 weeks, and then you come right back down, and we're going to probably test those lows again. And as you know, with Tilray, we also had opportunities to get out way on the high side. I mean, here's a daily chart of Tilray right here, $75. So look, these cannabis names are going to continue to get hit. It's a growth story. We talked about where value is versus where growth is right now. They really haven't made. There was some votes on legalization and whatnot in the States, and they just really haven't made too much headway with any of this, as far as I'm concerned. Biden hasn't done anything too much. They haven't passed the infrastructure bill yet. I don't know if cannabis, now that the Dems are finally in, I don't know if it's gonna go anywhere, to be honest with you. You can look at Tilray. For me, if you're gonna play the game, when we've talked about this again, my play is for CGC. Come on, charts. It gets caught up in this. It doesn't have as many dramatic moves as Tilray, other than, when you go parabolic off some of that meme stuff. But CGC has acreage farms. I think that's going to be a big one once it finally gets legalized over there down south. It already is here on a federal level. But you know what? I mean, it's sad right now for some of these plays. They need to get out of their own way. They're still not profitable, a lot of these marijuana companies, so you're gonna have to wait. We know that the producers aren't gonna make any money in this environment. What seems to rally stuff like Tilray, Afria, CGC, we had OGI yesterday. Remember, OGI had the deal with British Tobacco, so that ran as well. So I think that's what's going to spark more interest in this space, Brendan, is deals, medical, big players coming in. The one thing about CGC is, remember, they have Constellation, so they're backed by some big players. So CGC has an opportunity for them to get back into the game and take on more stakes. So I like the management structure of CGC, and I really like what Canopy is doing. But for today, man, down another 1.5%. And look, this is what you were talking about yesterday. Just tick, 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 tick. The whole marijuana company up in flame, or industry up in flames right now. Not too high, so to speak.
All right, guys, we'll bring in Mark Roberts here, president of Sun Lake Strategies, get his opinion and thoughts ahead of the Fed coming up this afternoon. Good morning, Mark. Good to see you once again. It is Wednesday. It is Fed Day. Where are you going to look this morning right off the bat here? Are there opportunities, or is it going to be a wait-and-see kind of day?
I don't expect the Fed to do anything dramatic at this point. They have a lot of issues going on. They've got this 1.9 trillion that's now being talked about with both the president and vice president running around the country. You also have a situation where it's just, these things take so long. I was listening to the traders, nothing reacts quickly. So cannabis, all of these different themes are just not going to move within 24 hours. So I'm looking for a no effect by the end of the day, but the volatility will remain high.
All right. When last we spoke about 162 on the 10-year, kind of a bit of a important level on the upside for yields to maybe get to and test, but we are obviously significantly through that right now. Give us your latest opinion on where this should be. Some
analysts are moving to 2.25 on the outside. I would have to move up to probably around 1.75, maybe 1.68. The issue is it's now a guess situation. Before it made sense. Now with the economy still coming on strong, except for the weather problems that affected housing in the latest numbers, the economy is booming in many states.
And when we look at what is benefiting from that, I mean, we just talked about the S&P, the Dow, record highs over the past couple of days, where the NASDAQ obviously lagging a little bit here. Is there an area of the market or one or two names that have stood out as a surprise to you as being stronger than the rest?
Some of the software names have done extremely well in the application area. I think this move will continue. I think some of the cybersecurity names are going to start to attract much more. You had numbers from CrowdStrike and some of the others overnight. This space is just going to remain volatile but strong.
Thank you very much for coming through, Mark. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I don't know where the green is. I'm not gonna call you out on it this time. Like, obviously, we can't celebrate like we'd like to here, but it's good that you mentioned CrowdStrike, because if there's one thing that maybe we've been guilty of recently, it's maybe, and for day trading, maybe people aren't as interested in this with all the story of the hacking going on, and you saw with Microsoft recently. There's been some interesting plays within the security space, whether you want to talk about FireEye, which has been making some moves as well, and then just CrowdStrike with some numbers out today. Now, the one thing I would say is, to your point that there could still be some strength in this overall space, going into Fed Day, well, I mean, we don't expect a rate change or anything, but if there is to be a shock to the market, if there is to be maybe not as dovish of a stance that they could come through with today, at least in terms of what might get said or what is not said or how the dot plot changes, is this sort of one of those perfect opportunities? Well, okay, if I'm looking at CrowdStrike in particular, well, looks pretty good above that 190. If you just say to yourself, maybe this is the time you get a dip, and you just want to throw that bid in there for the afternoon on the off chance, and then sort of not be afraid. If you like the particular name, take advantage of any volatility on a morning like, or an afternoon like today. And is there a name other than CrowdStrike? I mentioned FireEye there, whom I think is doing pretty well myself, but is there another name in the cyberspace that you do think, in the cybersecurity space, that you do think is worthy of a look?
I happen to be long PANW. That tends to be the number one in that space. It's a larger cap. It's much more of the gorilla, if you will. It's the kind of thing where I think, from what my experience has been, anytime you get a dip during Fed Day on stocks across the board that have been with solid earnings, good management, and if you're lucky enough to get guidance, you buy them.
Right. So I mean, like that. Yeah. Like I said, if you find something that, and again, of course, fits your investing or risk profile, and is it a price that you like, certainly do it. I mean, I'm going to throw this one up on my quote board today to give it a little bit of a watch. It's very similar. We're going to look at the same basically chart between CrowdStrike and between PanW. I want to jump, if I can, very quickly, just because if I can get your comments on Plug Power. Obviously, the market does a number on anybody who's restating your financials. However, we always say that cash is king. This is not necessarily the changes reflected aren't necessarily changing their cash position. This is just all back-end accounting stuff, which ultimately is going to be seen as negative, but it doesn't necessarily change their perspectives for growth. We had just bounced a couple of weeks ago, off that 33.30. So you get that price where the market's absolutely flushing and punishing all of these sort of recent high-flying parabolic movers, and it would already given off more than 50% here. And then suddenly you come in today and are retesting that 33.50 in the pre-market. We've already pushed $3 off that price. I had a couple of small longs, which I'm kind of kicking myself for not holding on to, but it just sort of smells like, can we get back into the previous lows of that 37.38? That would normally be the trade. is that something you got to think twice about because it's that Fed day today?
The answer is you would think twice. If it's a name you're comfortable trading or investing, buy some, buy a half position. Out of the 4 or 5 analysts that made their comments today, really only one of them, Trust Securities, went to a hold. The rest have targets 69, 75, 70. The stock's trading at 36. That's a huge upside.
Yeah.
So obviously they're not as worried. I would use the dip as an opportunity to buy a half position.
Love it, and that's. I think I look at it. It just seems like such a fantastic opportunity. Before we get you out of here and go back to Brendan, is there another name on your watch list today? Maybe something that we haven't talked about. Of course, this is an important day, and if we're going to be looking for opportunities to go shopping in the event that we go lower, I'd love to hear your thoughts on one name out of the blue.
I'm looking at Lululemon on this pullback. I'm looking at CVS. It got downgraded. I'm looking at that. I'm trying to look at best of breed within their industries. Dick's Sporting is going to come after Lulu in their own brand. I'm going to be watching Lulu to see how that does. So those are the 2 names I'm focused on this morning.
There you go, Dick's and Lulu. I remember last time we talked about Lyft. We're all very happy that you did. So good luck there, Mark. Best of luck trading. Happy Fed Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Best of luck as always, and thank you.
Thank you.
Back to Brendan, guys.
All right, guys, yeah, let's jump into upgrades and downgrades here. 2 days in a row for Starbucks here. All-time highs yesterday, we mentioned. Starbucks back on this side of the board once again. 120 there from Telsey Advisory. McDonald's, Seagate, and this Funko 2 days this week with upgrades for that one. There's CrowdStrike. And, yeah, Plug, well off the lows from the pre-market. It was 22% when I sat down. So trying to get back upside, guys, but still 15% for Plug.
Yeah, look, yesterday, Plug Power,
My hero.
Look, you got to be diversified into all these names. We talked about getting into Starbucks and whatnot. I'm hitting the Superman because yesterday on, I don't know if it was announced yesterday or the day before, but we keep talking about Cardano. And again, this is about being diversified, right? Like people talk about it all the time. You got to have a certain percentage of your portfolio in crypto. And then there you go. Yesterday, Cardano up 25% being added. And I talked, again, this goes back to what I talked about in November, December, when this thing was 10 cents, February, March, everything. I said, wait until the 3rd largest by market cap gets added to Coinbase. That's ADA. A lot of love there. 32 likes. Actually, not that many. We got over 100 likes and over 200 likes on the Instagram for our production team yesterday on that tweet. But look at this, guys. This was a big move yesterday. This is just a one-day chart here for Cardano. We're breaking out right now, 140, 131, 132. Back upside as Bitcoin continues its march downside from 62,000. I believe Cardano breaks out here, and you could see multiples of this very, very soon. This is why I'm talking about it, because we were, I hard stamped this 20 break for you guys, and you can go back and look at whatever show you want. Well, I've been talking about Cardano since November, December, January, all the way to the upside right now. So this is like almost, it's more than 10x from where I'm in. But the point is that we're up here to 140, 150. I don't know if it moons from here or not, but this is kind of the catalyst that we wanted. A lot of companies switching over, gas prices high on ETH, a lot of people switching over and now building on the Cardano network. So it's completely different. It's not a coin. Do your research on ADA, but that's why you got to be somewhat diversified, because if you look at what Bitcoin's doing, and I'm in Bitcoin too, I have more money in Bitcoin and Ether than I do in Cardano. So I am definitely not liking what this has been doing. If you go to a day chart on here, it's just been sort of creeping down. We just made a high. But look, if you're trading crypto, guys, and you're worried about like 10% moves, things like that, like you just haven't been in this game long enough. I mean, we went up to 40,000, retraced all the way back to 30,000. So that's 25% down before taking out that 40 again, making another move up to 50, then back down here to 43, which is where I started tweeting again about that 43 level. And then you break out to 60, and now we're back to 55. Like, let's start hitting some sirens if we come back to 40, guys. I mean, and then that's where you can buy even more. But I'm not worried anything. And I think this just goes to the very, very same thing that we're talking about with the market. And some people, and again, love the crowd, love our family here on chat, because people saying, if you're an investor, today is an opportunity. Every single, and I saw something, shout out to Dave Portnoy there at Stool Presidente, whatever he is, there for Barstool. He did kind of a ridiculous thing yesterday. We were watching it, and he was doing a chart, and it was just like the buy the dip chart, and it was basically just, and it was the most ridiculous thing I've seen in a long time. Thank you to Joseph for sending that to me there on Twitter. But basically, he just said, buy every single dip and you'll be rewarded. That's historically been true if your time frame has you able to do that, right? And so here we're day traders. I believe that exactly what Mark Roberts said, and that's exactly what I do in my portfolio. I buy big names on dips. I mean, I'm loaded up on JPM. My largest positions, JPM, Disney, Google. I've been buying Facebook on dips as well. I like to buy the leaders on dips. I'm long Starbucks. I mean, give me a better name than that. And obviously, you know that I'm trying to get into DraftKings as well. So I think you got to buy dips, and I think it goes, to say thank you to Mark Roberts for some of that information as well. But there's my little 2 cents on crypto, on value, and on buying the dips, Mr. Wicken.
Yeah, if you want to learn about buying the dips, look up that video that Sean was talking about. It was hysterical and well worth a watch. If you're looking for what is moving around in the pre-market, guys, head over to that link, register, absolutely free. Every morning we send out our morning note and watch list to you for free. If you missed it, once again, it's free. So go ahead and sign up for that. If you want to follow along, let's jump into what is moving around here in the pre-market. We'll start things off with Pinduoduo. I read this morning that they actually overtook Baidu. No, it wasn't Baidu. It was Alibaba as China's largest e-commerce platform. So earnings were better than expected, although they did post a very, very small loss per ADS. But overall, better than expected. They did a little bit of moving around of executives as well. Their founder stepped down from the board. He's going to pursue other opportunities. So the CEO taking on the chairman title, guys.
Yes, sir. And I actually think Miss Wood purchased some Pinduoduo yesterday, and who knows how much. I'd have to read again and see how much it was. Maybe it was a light position, but either way, an interesting day to have done it. I do think we're going to see a lot of charts that look very similar to this. I mean, it sort of is going to be what it is. You're going to see a lot of stocks that 2 weeks ago, pulled back into what would have been like December, November types of lows. Pinduoduo was no different. If we do get sort of not what we're looking for, out of the Fed, you put all of the tech names into the same bunch, but certainly the e-commerce ones are going to be a push. And I do think we're only down 7% right now, but you could go SSR in the afternoon if that's going to be the case. And we keep saying, and this is not saying that 100% the market is going to absolutely crater and yields are going to go to, like 175 this afternoon or something like that. But you have to be prepared if you like a name like this, if you're not in the e-commerce space. Certainly, much prefer a name like Amazon personally. But if you like a Pinduoduo over some of the other names, you got to watch out for like a 140 level. Now, I had written down for the day trade on Pinduoduo, I'm looking at 147.50 as a particular price to be watching to see if we can't test and hold around that previous low. It's a higher low than put in 2 weeks ago, but this low right here, we did teeter around here in the pre-market and tried to bounce off of it. So putting in a higher low would show some strength to me. But ultimately, I think the better play for some of these on the longer time frame is to see if you can't buy in front of a 140 range. I do want to get over to one name that we're going through our watch list here, but every now and then we do have something that's already moving. So I wanted to get to huge if I could. For those of you guys if you're following along, make sure you're on the website so you can get the watch list to you guys. FSD Pharma, huge. It's a bit of a rollover play. Again, they're Canadian-based. It's medical cannabis, but they're treating GI for pets, I believe dogs actually. Positive news out of them, but you go to the daily chart here and you do see hard rollovers on every single pop. I was looking previously, like the level I'm actually working off was this close here, 319, right? So you have 319 close in the last parabolic move. I come back to see us testing that level in consolidation after making some highs at 335. The rollover I get on a 3 break takes them out in front of pre-market low, which is 290. When the pre-market low breaks 290, I get into more short to a separate position at 89, and then I'm working that position out right now. It's a $2 close, but this is actually a pretty positive story here, so I'm not expecting this to go anywhere close to that $2. I don't think it gives it all back. Something like a 250 would make some sense to me, like 10% from here is a good target.
Okay, AMC guys, rocking and rolling right now. Again, get your money into the right names and you'll be prosperous. Apparently, AMC yesterday with a decent move. We can pull it back. It blew up in AM. I mean, right now, this is what I'm sort of wondering may happen right now. We are taking out some highs here, just like we did yesterday at this time. 1370 was about that high, and I remember because I lost on this as we took this break. I think it was 1350, got some out, and then watched it drop all the way down before getting out at 1325, and then again at 13 and dropping all the way to 1240. But then the afternoon, we kind of rallied back and then didn't do a whole hell of a lot in the afternoon. And right now, we're kind of seeing the same thing where we got right back to 1325. Wondering about a short here in AMC off of some of these highs from yesterday. That's 1370, but if you wanted to get a little more conservative, 1335 right there was the high. So you could actually get a short now, use this 1335 and see if we work back into the 13 area. I don't mind that for a short. A quick check in on the imbalance locator one more time. Palantir's there. I don't see AMC on here. Of course, it's a New York stock, so NEO's going to be there. We'll talk about that soon. I think it's going to be a big negative day for NEO if the market falls. I don't think anything is going to stop it. So Walmart there as well, 110. So yeah, nothing really big on this front. And then the NASDAQ, of course, Brendan, comes at 928. So we'll wait to see if there's any big NASDAQ imbalances. Oil turning around now, down 1.3% as well.
It's Plug Power next here, guys. We mentioned it right off the bat, but we'll have a look at the chart here. It's surprisingly one of the more strong looking charts in the pre-market here after this news. If you missed it, they came out after market yesterday, said they're going to restate their 2018 and 2019 financial results, full year financial results. They found some errors in their accounting that led to higher revenue cost, is what they're saying.
Yeah, see, if this was a Chinese name, it would probably be delisted by now, right? Because of all these errors. We'll see $43 down 13%. It's a buy if you like the space. I mean, they're going to get this all figured out. There's no doubt about that. Like you said, Brendan, it was down a lot worse in the pre-market, down 34.50 or so. I liked this 35 level. That's what I wrote down on the sticky note to see what was going to happen around here. But you can see now with VWAP starting to edge up and the market starting to, not the market, sorry. Well, I guess the market's kind of holding up. Plug Power starting to go back to the upside right now. So as far as a trade is concerned for Plug Power, here's the 20-minute. It's this area here that's a little bit of a concern. That's 40. So once we get near 40 again, and if we do that today, then I think that'll be pretty amazing to go up another 10% from here. Could be possible. We were at 43 yesterday, so don't discount that. But, you do have some areas of concern until just pretty choppy between 38 and 40 here. So if you get to 40 and break that, then, bang, you could maybe even get to 43 today. But, I mean, that's just a huge call. And I'm not going to say that we're going to go to $43. But I like a 40 level. I think if you could get there, that's great. 38 is coming fast and furious. These little wick bottoms down here, I guess they're not even wicks. They're actual real bottoms. 37.50. Right now, so if you could break back above there, 37.50, and then use maybe 37 or 36 as your outs, I think that can give you a runway up to 38, 39, 40. So let's see what it does at 37.50. I'm a buyer of Plug at 37.50. Let's plug those holes.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I'm willing to even buy a plug in the dip. We talked about some of this earlier. There was a previous 34.50 breakout price, and sometimes use a stop order. It is what it is. We get these like dark prints that come through, and I know better because at 8 o'clock, there's a huge dump of dark pool prints. If you use the wrong type of stop order, you are going to get stopped out. But if we ever retest this 34.50 area, that looks like a good dip buy to me. There also seems to be a bit of congestion, at least there was at 35.50, a little bit higher. And Sean mentioned, there's no doubt about that, that 40 level being a good target. I think if it gets that far, I might be looking to fade that a little bit. But you cannot ignore, thank you guys for getting us to that 1,000 likes. Always try to hit those metrics. I like getting to like 5,000 or 6,000, guys. We can definitely get there. Get a second, hit the like button if you like what you're seeing here. But you probably didn't like what you saw from Plug and a lot of names back on the 5th. And that's why I point that 33.25 price, because a lot of times you'll see those dips into ranges of congestion. That's a very, very important one, I think, there. And then you go back and to see why this level matters. We had a monster gap up, and this is 38, which was previous resistance. So I think 38 could be a breakup price. I know Sean's looking at 37. I'd much prefer to buy a dip off the open and then look for that 38 level. And I'll be 40 to 42 is going to be a fade for me. That's a little bit too far. And I probably would not be touching this particular name in the afternoon around the Fed announcement.
All right, 0.3%. Speaking of the Fed, speaking of the overall market, let's have a chat with Arun. We'll have a look at the futures here and see what we need to be aware of. Arun, important day for the overall market here. I mean, it's 0.3% right now for the S&P. What are you looking at?
Well, that's how the day tends to start, right? It tends to be quiet right up until the Fed, and then we kind of just get an explosion of movement. So we are negative to start the day, but it does seem like we're that level that we had come down to, that I had marked off yesterday, that 50 to 30. Now we're inside of that range, and it seems like we're picking up some buy interest down here below 40. So I am looking for potential longs from 40 down to 30. If we get into the 50s again, then we find some stuff. We're kind of wedged in this little upward resistance, downward support area. Pretty much 70 is where I said if we got above yesterday, we had a chance to go. We did not get there. So that is still the resistance level to the upside. So pretty much 50 going up to 70 is resistance. And at this point, 40 going down to 30 is support. And we're sitting right here with a slight downward bias. So at this point, you do have to be a little careful on how you trade. I am looking for shorts down here because we're in that support area. At the same time, I'm going to be a little selective of how I take it and what I'm looking for. On a day like this, when the market's been quiet, the last couple of days have been pretty quiet, you do have to be delicate in how you operate, especially in the futures. And the stock's a little bit different, but in the futures, you do have to be a little bit more selective and delicate in how you operate. You got to be willing to move faster on your exits as well. So for now, I'm going to be looking at support buys in the 40 range. If we can get into the 50s, I might flip that into a short read with 70 as a stop. But right, just be aware that the Fed is coming at 2 p.m. Eastern, and there's going to be a lot of movement there, especially with the projections, right? It's not necessarily the rate, but the projections are the big thing. That notice on how the if there is going to be a change, if there are going to be changes, what pace are going to be the changes and what potential future impacts are going to have. That's the big thing that everyone's going to be looking at. So just be aware there might be some whippy movement when the notice hits put out. The first trade that comes out is from the algos, right? So that is going to move the market in one direction, potentially come right back down and maybe the other direction. And we tend to whip around and then finally catch a direction and actually go. So just be aware that volatility will be around there from 2 to 2:30 and then continuing potentially into the close.
Thanks, Arun. We'll check back in again tomorrow. Yeah, it's going to be the statement that the market is focusing on that does get released at the same time as the decision itself. Again, no one's expecting a move on interest rates, but that statement on the list, guys. Positive earnings. They also issued full year 21 and 22 earnings forecasts that were to the upside. So revising prior forecasts here higher, guys, for CrowdStrike.
Yeah, and Mark talked about this name, and certainly maybe another couple that are, I don't want to say outperforming, but a little bit more in the public eye when it comes to the security space. I'm sort of watching a pre-market level because when volumes are this low, and CrowdStrike has done 155,000 shares in the pre-market, so for the day trade, it's not going to be the most exciting in the entire world. And you are in the middle of like the choppy, like not the choppiest in the world, but a very, very choppy zone. And around this, like you can see it here, like 201, 202. It has been a bit of a pivot every now and then some serious consolidation. So when I do see on my one, when you do have a level like this, and I've had level 2 up, so this 201 that we're currently looking at does correspond with a very, very potentially small iceberg order. It's hard to really tell when the volume is this low, but there does seem to be a bit of a 201 seller, at least at this particular time frame. If this was a million shares done, or maybe in this particular case, maybe 500,000 shares on CrowdStrike, I'd be looking on this news. I mean, the market's sort of gearing up right around that 13,000 on the NASDAQ and maybe looking like it wants to consolidate and punch up. I'd be thinking, okay, well, you just punch long on a 201 break and see if you can't catch positive news in one of the few stocks that's actually looking rather green today for a momentum play. The issue with that, of course, is it's not the most liquid. I just saw a bigger spread than the 5 cents we have, or 10 cents that we have right here. And again, 150,000 shares is not going to tell you too much about whether that's an iceberg or not. I'd much prefer to be buying this, on, as we said with Mark, on a dip, or I like FireEye if you get something in the afternoon where there is a bit of a flush. And again, you don't know what's going to come out of Powell's head, Powell's mouth, and certainly what's going to come from the rest of the other members there. But if you do get that dip, be prepared to buy. That 201 looks interesting. If for some reason it's holding into the open and then does some real volume behind it, then that could be a breakout trade. But too little volume for me to like it right here.
Yeah, if you like he was talking about Palo Alto there, if you like, some security stocks and whatnot, you can go over to panw.nf.ny there, over there in New York. But if you like cybersecurity stocks, you can also go to my friend over there, Palantir, as well. So you can look at some of these stocks. We don't have Palantir on our notes here today, down that 4%. And again, it's been to these levels, and we're going to see, I'm probably going to turn bearish on Palantir today again, or not again, maybe for the first time, as we're long plug, and that's working for us right now. 24.33 here. You can see about Palantir, and again, they're into security. We know that data, everything. You can do the research there. 23.30 downside on Palantir could be absorbed. So let's wait to see if we do crack below here. But again, having a problem with this view up. And as I said yesterday, this is not a buy really until you get to 29.30 on any kind of breakouts. But I do think that you can add to your positions if you get down to this 23 area, which we may be getting to sooner rather than later on PLTR. Just a quick look here, because it's not, we don't have any news on it today really. Just a quick look at the 20-minute just to show you guys what I'm talking about. We've dipped down below, but it only really cracked this 23 once, which was nasty on that one day when we went all the way down to $20. The same thing as NEO. Bye-bye, Plug Power, breaking through that level that we talked about. 2021 downside there. But this is what we're looking at here on Palantir. It's like 23.50. That's been a pretty good level for us. If you take the 23.50 level, then this 23 should hold. And it's done that once, twice, three times. It basically held it every single time except for once. And then right there again where you only went down another 50 cents. So we're going to see what does happen there. Here goes Plug Power, guys. 50 cents in the money right now for Plug. 37.90. We talked about it taking the long here through 37.50. And there it is, man. A quick little 35 cents for you. Hit. Bang. Start the morning off right with a nice little win here on Plug.
Yeah, just marching higher. So strong that Plug back higher. Let's go to the future home of eToro. FTCV, FinTech SPAC that we were talking about yesterday was very, very strong throughout the entire session. We are down significantly from where this thing ended the session up here yesterday, but almost 56 million shares traded on the day. I can't remember the last SPAC that we had that kind of volume done on day one. Impressive move, though, for the future home, as we said, of eToro, guys.
Yeah, I mean, the impressive thing about it was the ability to sort of hold that volume above that halt. I mean, of course, it actually halted in the pre-market when you had the speculation. It was up at like $13 and change. And then people were taking some profit when 7 a.m. were to hit. And then you did have that halt. The fact that we held that 12, we were talking about it in the morning, that if it got below that price, I think it's going to be a deeper sell-off. And that was going to be key. We hold it, you get the breakout. So the similar theme today would be, look at the afternoon highs, right? So you did have the flush, like I said, 1325 or so, and then into the halt. You had the afternoon dip in and around the same range, then holding it again at about 1 o'clock. Pre-market, basically that same low. It's 1340, so you're rounding up a little bit. So that 1325 to 1340 range on FTCV. Again, for me, that's going to be like the breakdown. I don't want to be, it'd have to do something parabolic to the upside for me to short it. Otherwise, it's got to be breaking that price for the short. And then if we hold that all session long, you got your afternoon breakout off that level. So in the event that we're doing a similar consolidation, you'd sort of be picking whatever that high is. Right now it would be 14, but that could turn into like a 1425 or 1440 once that gets revisited later on in that session. But as long as we are holding that bottom, I like the afternoon break. And again, I'm not shorting it unless it breaks that low or does like successive halts and runs to like 20 bucks or something.
So there's right there, the cash cow continues. Plug today, obviously it's not a great hold if you're still a shareholder because you're down 11% today. But look at that, we just took out another 20% of this position up at $38 right there. So in and out right there, bang, bang, nice little trade, 20% in. Every single one of these is 20%, so bang, bang. And then now we'll wait to see. I got to give it all the way back to 36.50. So we'll take some out. We are trying to hold for a bigger move, so we'll put some profit. I don't know if it's gonna come through. I mean, if I just want to scalp this thing and take profits, I mean, I could get out right now, but I'm trying to, make some serious money, and I just, I don't have enough shares to worry about this right now. So, I mean, I'm not gonna take. I've already taken 30 cents and then 50 cents on Plug Power. I want more. I mean, just wait, switch up your style if that's not yours. But I just want to get a little bit more here on Plug Power. Next stop, 38.25, and we'll see if we can't take a smooth 75-cent win on Plug. But it's just marching to the high side there. That's why I gave you that 37.50, guys. Put the money where the mouth is there. We take the trade with you, hopefully, and then now you're in the money there, smooth 50. So shout out to 50 Cent as we're in the money right now with you, buddy. And we're actually long at 35s, so we're actually in the money 60 cents. What's up, Beep?
All right, let's go to Micron, guys. Semiconductors stronger than the rest. Yesterday, as a group, we mentioned kind of leading the tech sector overall higher. We talked about Micron. We talked about AMD a little bit. Micron, coming very close to these recent highs on the daily chart, 95.75. Yeah, we're down today, but I mean, there's a lot of things looking worse if you had to pick at this point this morning.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's definitely a good way to frame it, and that's one of the reasons why we're looking at, and worth mentioning something like CrowdStrike today because of the relative strength overall in the name. Micron, I'll like it back if we get to that 86 level. I was talking about NVIDIA, a much more sleepy chart. You can see Micron has been a very, very solid performer. So it's going to bear mention that you do look at the top end of this chop range as a bit of an option today. So and you just look at all of these, opens and closes in and around this 89.25 area, and it's going to be hard to ignore. So if there's not going to be a huge flush, and then sort of a move to a 3-minute chart, I'll flip between 3 and 15, but I kind of wanted to show the 3 here for Micron just so I can make this stand out at 89. You did have this little gap up going into last week. The big time run up, which got you to that 95 double top, or at least close enough to that 95, and we're holding that bottom in the pre-market for now. So 89 is the price, and then I'm looking for on a Micron. If we dip into that, I think it's worth a bit of a defense at that price. It would be a different. It's too shallow of an area that if we're sort of trending below 90, and you get into the afternoon and we keep talking about this, I don't know if I would stand in front of a level like that. Forget about I don't know. I wouldn't stand in front of a level like that going into a Fed number. I think that's one of those, we can blow through numbers like that if the market wants to go far enough. But certainly for the morning, that 89 is worth a look on the dip. And just talking about the futures, we're still oscillating around that 13,000 on the NASDAQ, right? So if we do crack lower, that's a bit of a momentum push down. You don't know where the futures are going to turn, but if you catch any kind of consolidation and you're able to pick this up in front of that 89 even, if it's better than the pre-market low, fair enough. That's like 50 cents worth of risk, but pre-market highs are all the way at 91.50, and that's where we closed yesterday. So the risk reward certainly there on Micron if it holds 90.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that Micron 89 level, no brainer there. So you got to put some bids down there. I mean, we held it yesterday, 89.40. This morning, and then now hold on a second. Now that we're bumping up. So where was yesterday's hold? Yesterday we opened up. Yeah, we had just a monster run. So we opened up about 90, and then there's that hold. Sorry, not 89, 90.25. And then this morning here, now you're up to 90.50. Look, it got upgraded. It's in the right space. It's a super hot stock. And yeah, I mean, I'm going to put a bid right now. If it comes down and touches me down there, then that'd be fantastic. But we'll have to wait to see if that does happen. And then on the upside, I mean, a 92 break looks great. A 91 break, not as much love for that as there's not too much there. But a 92, sort of where we topped out a couple times yesterday and consolidated a bit. I like a 92 break better than a 91. But for right now, yeah, anything down to 89 on weakness this morning, we're going to pick some up of Micron. That one's a no-brainer. But don't forget, guys, don't sleep on AMD as well. I mean, that's been rocking and rolling for me for a very, very long time and continues to be one of my top stocks. So you got to watch out for AMD. And again, if we just do a little bit of a longer time frame here on the 20-minute for AMD, you can see it's just, yesterday topped off 84.85. We did have a piece of this for sure. And then now you're right at that 200 period on the 20, which doesn't mean that much, but we've broken below a few different key levels. So now even on Micron, you still have, on AMD, you have a level here that's similar to where we're looking at on Micron $80. Like if that comes down there and you can get a gift of 80 on AMD, I do like that because the downside is $1. I think you can get out if it breaks 79. So I like the risk reward opportunity here on AMD today as well. So AMD and Micron both going to be on the watch. I have Uber, Micron, Microsoft. There's a bunch of different names that we're going to be looking at, which only 10 minutes to go. Wow, the morning seemed like it went pretty quick.
10 minutes ago, let's go to Uber. More talk coming out of the UK this morning from lawmakers suggesting that they may force the company to pay minimum wage for any drivers as long as they are logged into the app. So they're not even talking about cumulative drive time. So whenever there's a passenger in the car, they're talking whenever they're logged into the app, the company may have to pay minimum wage. I mean, we talked about this last month with the law and the court ruling that suggested that this is going to happen. It's just a matter of when for Uber.
That just seems ridiculous that they have to pay them if they're logged in. I think that look, I mean, maybe we have some Uber drivers on the chat here, so it's not about offending anybody. I just don't know if that makes any sense to pay somebody for being logged into the app. Like if the car is moving, like I'm sure they can figure this out. And I just think that it's something that could eventually get figured out. I mean, Uber drivers have been a savior a lot during this pandemic. I mean, delivering food. We talked about them making deals also with CVS and whatnot to help drive patients to pharmacies. So look, Uber's going to remain a key part of this economy moving forward. I mean, it's been a revolutionary business, to be honest with you. And I mean, breaking through this 38 was fantastic. And then since then, it's just been kind of up and down over the last 2 months or so. But we do have an opportunity here. It's approaching, and I need to get into Uber. I want to be a shareholder of Uber, and I don't know enough about the story, so I'm not going to comment. You know, I mean, I just said that it seems ridiculous to pay these guys for driving around, but if that's the point of the business and they're on the clock, just like we're on the clock, we get paid too, right? So I think there is some validity to that, but down 2% is nothing for Uber. You know, we can go down a lot more than that. The market's down 1%, Uber down 2%. That makes sense to me as well, as they are a growth story. So I don't, you know, profit or not, Uber's still going to be around for a long time. So we're going to look at that level there, 57, and this is 56.30 on the 50 period. So if that breaches, then we want to reverse our opinions to the short. But I wrote down 57 here to the downside. So I think if we just can break like this 56.80 or whatnot, and the market does go down, we know Uber's a little more negative than the market. So we can see Uber on a pullback down through 57. So I do like that play if it does go down. And I told you guys, like when we started the show was right here, you know, or where are we? 8:30, I guess, right here. And so now the market's up. And I just said, you know, don't be surprised if the market tries to rally back here ahead of Jerome Powell. So let's just, you know, we could get a big move up here for the market. So let's wait to see. Check in on the imbalance locator quickly to see if Uber's there. And it is not. There's actually, like, this looks like, to me, like it's not even working. I mean, there's really nothing on here. Palantir's on there, and there's absolutely nothing else. So nothing on here of note. So, you know, nothing to see here.
So I want to, just for a quick second, I want to talk about Lyft just because they tend to outperform, and they have been. They're basically flat on the session. And this is sort of why, I mean, Uber looks attractive because you get these dips and you're like, why is it consistently lower and being negatively affected by its news? And when positive news hits Lyft, it's not getting the same little push to the upside. So it's worth mentioning. One of the reasons I actually like to short on Uber today is just the relative weakness as well. So and the other thing about Uber is a trade for you day traders out there. It's going to do much better volume than Lyft. Lyft is a pain in the butt to day trade. There's 30,000 shares in the pre-market. That's one of the things that's probably something better to invest in. But man, unless it comes back down to like 56, Mark's into it. I don't know how to get into that name. Uber just seems like a better value right here.
Virgin, guys, yeah, space, Robbie, for sure. We'll talk about the daily chart here first. There's been multiple analysts with positive notes come out on space over the past couple of days. That's kind of helped this bounce on the daily chart here, but we are down this morning. You can see aftermarket yesterday, Truist Securities, the latest to come out with a positive note on this with a buy rating, increasing their price target, the whole 9 yards when it comes to trying to help Virgin, but another one that is looking relatively weak so far today.
Big difference between playing the long game and long term and trying to actively be in something like this, because 25 great, 27.50 stuck out like a sore thumb, so congratulations on that one. Whether you got it at 50, whether you got it at 60, it doesn't really matter. So crazy if you don't take profits when it's come all the way back. But and then back to the same prices, 25, 27.50. In the event that you do get not the dovish take that we're looking for, this is one of those prime sort of sell-off type names if the market rolls over today, and there's simply no getting around it when it comes to Virgin Galactic. Now I like it bouncing off that 27.50. That's where I got in. That's where I got back in. So I'm sort of wanting the stock to go up. But if we're not taking out this 32.50, you go back in, and again, I'm on the 3-minute chart just so you guys can see like the double bottom that we put in here in the afternoon. Same thing as a pre-market high, and if we can't crack that and this market's headed southbound, and I'm talking the NASDAQ here, that 13,000, then it's definitely a sell in front of those levels. Now, as far as just taking out the pre-market low, that's $1 away. At this point. So with the market oscillating, not really doing anything, I'm not going to commit myself to, I'm punching long on a 31 breakdown. No, I got to see what happens off of the open. That's why I would only be a fade off these 32.50 levels in the pre-market here. Just one note on that huge, it bounced back up towards that $3, so a bit of a reload. I haven't gotten fully back in, but testing that $3 range where I got in the first time, so back in at like 93 or so.
Plug Power goes right back to $38, so we hit the register on that one as well. We'll see if we can't continue the little dance. I did want to talk about quickly here, Cincinnati Video Guru, you've provided me with a lot of different trade ideas, and I just want to talk about it right now. It's direct deposit day for stimulus money in the US, but the thing about that is, and I'm asking you guys, like, just because the money goes into your account, you then need to transfer it over to your brokerage account, right? So I don't know, I don't have a Robinhood account or anything like that, and I don't transfer money over daily, but I don't know if that still does take, guys, and follow me in the chat and put it up in here. I don't know if that means that you can get your trades in today or not. Like, if you receive the stimulus money right now, don't you still then have to put it and transfer it into your brokerage account? I just don't know. I know in Canada there's a few different things, but I don't know if your money gets settled like instantly or you have to wait the next day or not. But either way, we've been talking about those stimmies coming through, and you can see AMC. I mean, it's a good call. I think some stimmies going to Plug Power as well, and because people are long already, so they want to buy more at low spots. There goes AMC bouncing off 13 again, right to that day's high of 13.35. So if this is stimulus check day, then yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. But let me know here in the chat. Okay, so everybody, like, I just love this family. Like, I ask questions all the time. I mean, everything I say in here seems to blow this chat up. Instant buying power in full, instant. Okay, so there's absolutely no problem. If you transfer more than 1,000, it gets settled instantly. Okay, so some of you guys in there, yes, thank you so much for all of that. So that is definitely changing now some of the rhetoric behind some of these names. So thank you so much for that information. You guys, shoot, that's Superman, but that's you guys. We need to have like an audience, Superman. Thank you so much for all the love that we continue to get on the chat.
All right, guys, yeah, that definitely doesn't happen here. So, yeah, good for you if you can get that going today. Let's talk about CMD, little Chinese online education company. They're in the healthcare sector. They have a deal with GlaxoSmithKline that got re-upped for another few years. So this one's very strong here in the pre-market. Yeah, 81% still. $3, watch that. We broke it, held. We're now pushing back towards the highs here. So $3 needs to hold for it to go higher. Otherwise, this one could be a sell, guys.
Yeah, that one looking rather strong. Like I said, the huge is the one that I'm in today, and like I said, it just got back to that $3 range. I was able to get back in. Now remember, there was two levels. The original short we had was off a 3-even break, and then that 292, which is a pre-market low, previous pre-market low. It's basically testing this 85 and trying to put in a higher low. And I didn't think this was going to go to $2. I thought maybe 250 was reasonable. The turn for now is a 275. Now that we're like 90 seconds away, I would not be averaging into this. If it breaks 3 off of the open, I'm out. And I'm looking for a retest higher, guys. That's what I'm going to do every single time. Tight stop at the open allows me to re-enter a position when the volume starts to come in. Certainly there's going to be a lot to watch today. You know we're going to be watching that Plug Power. And it just sort of bears mentioning that the volatility in this could be a little bit big. I did prefer the 33.50 where I had a short-lived long before, but if the first dip is in the VWAP in this level here at 35.75 to 36 even, then so be it. Let's buy into that one because I'm just sort of a believer in the fact that there is going to be money that comes into this. It's one of those like rubber band type of effects. It doesn't affect their cash position. Anybody that liked Plug Power before is gotta like it even more now. It's hard not to see how that won't be true on plug in particular.
Okay, Rocket Mortgages, 24, 50, 25, 50, big time position. And we told you, we'll tell you when we're going to actually put on some risk. So 25.40 through the high there. We will take that if that goes through. And then I like Uber on a short through that level. Quick. What time is it? Oh my God, 30 seconds. Quick look on the imbalance locator. Absolutely nothing. Everyone's favorite, get high stock, SNDL, little baby, 142 on the bid there. You guys can see that or pause that. Palantir getting bigger, Neo getting bigger, Nokia, all the cells coming in now, CCIV as well. So get ready, get your popcorn out, man. Here comes Uber. Damn it, it's going to break early, and I'm going to get this trade early. I don't really like that, but if it comes through, it comes through. And
there's that bell.
Close enough. Let's go.
Don't know if we're going to be green today, but Valeria's got the green. Wow, immediately that ZMCD, and I was just looking at that pre-market high here, that 345, immediately breaking to the upside. You're going to see it go to like a 370 here, so we do have a bit of a break. It's not a fail break. This is actually having some follow through. If this thing gets back below and then retests that 320, I think that would be the sign of weakness that I'd be looking for a short, but so far, a bit of a strong move. And there you go. There's a hard reversal, and then bounces off 320. So I need to see it travel through that 320, test a little bit lower. The fact that it bounced, no go on the short for that name for me, but I am getting the dip. The dip is happening in plug power, I should say. I actually did not get filled down here in front of 36. I'm going to have to extend that a little bit here just to dip into the position at 50s. I wanted to buy on this dip. I wanted to see if we can hold that consolidation range. That's my preferred method of getting into this one.
Okay, are we open yet? Like, I really want to take this Neo to the short side, but it's not open yet, I don't think. So Neo through 41.50 is going to be a good trade if we can get that one. But I don't want it. I mean, it hasn't opened yet, so a little bit of a slippery slope for that one right now. Microsoft is open. I wanted a 235 break to the downside, believe it or not. It looks like it's trying to hold that. And look at this barcoding right now. Doing absolutely nothing is Microsoft. So watch out for a 235.50 as the market's starting to get ready to go down now. You can see it making some moves, so we're going to get a little excited there. 235.50 on Softy should be good to go. I prefer a 235 break, but 235.50 maybe. I'm still waiting for NIO over in the New York to open. I don't have any positions. Our plug got flushed out to the downside. PDD plug, Micron. Let's check out Micron. What is that doing right now quickly here? Yeah, 91. It's going up, so there's nothing happening for me on Micron either. Yeah, we just got to wait. Micron.
I want that dip on Micron. Sean, just go to Pinduoduo for a second because it just made a bit of a test down around that 48 level. Now looking at 47.50 is a bit of a key there, but it starting to feel like 154, 155 is a bit of resistance. I got into plug. It's held 36 for now. I got that 36.50. 36.50 and a half is my actual average price there because thank you, Day Trade the World. I get those midpoint fills. The first level we're testing is slightly below that 36. So it's like 35.85, 35.90 or so if you go back into here. If it breaks that, I love 33.50 and 34.50 as well. I'll test those levels, Brendan.
Market on the lows here, so careful with longs, guys. But Lizzie, remember this one from yesterday. Citron thinks this is worth, I think it was $32. They put a price target on this. Just tagged $13 there on big volume for Lizzie, guys.
Yeah, it did. Okay, I like pinned. So now I like plug to the downside if we could break through 35, but the market's going to tell us about that one. So we're going to wait for that. Square down that 3%. There goes Neo. Did it finally open or what? Yes, and of course, there's the open print. Like, I don't know why I put these out there. Let's get out of a little bit now. It's at 64. Let's get some out, and so we don't get blown out to the high side just in case this does decide to run for us. But once again, there we go. Opens late, and I had that order sitting in there, so that's my bad for that one. But we are short Neo right now, my first position.
Yeah, and Pinduoduo slight bounce. It's not really making much of rubber band action. You are seeing a real, a more legitimate bounce trying to form, and this is a consolidation, testing 37 on plug. Got to break through this 37 area and then retest some of those previous highs. Now, will I scalp some of it out on the way? Of course, because that's the nature of the trade. If I'm risking like 50, 60 pennies, I'm going to take that much in terms of profit. I have to get over to huge because when I'm managing one trade, this is going to happen to you. I have a set of rules. You got to make sure you follow them. It makes that push to the upside. Once it fails at this level, the whole point of getting out is to get right back in. I actually chased this one through 3. Chased it through 285. I'm not going to chase it any further than that. If it gives a rebound, fair enough. but I'm already up on huge. I just wish I still had this, obviously. You can see it start to flush. Now that it's broken through that low at 275, I would be willing to retest the short at 80s instead of like the 85 to 90 that I was doing previously. But there it goes. Unbelievable run to the downside and huge. I'll get wicked out on that move almost every single time. But again, I was holding maybe 20% left. I had taken profits in the 85 range.
Okay, so here goes Uber to the downside. We do have this trade, so let's wait to see if it's going to be a winner or not. Okay, so 56.80 there. We like that break through 57. We get 56.83 there. Cashed out a little bit at 75. Let's see if Uber continues its march to the downside right now. We do have an upside 57.25 or so. Just you playing off those quarters, but we do need to get some out here, capture some profits on this name. As here it goes, Uber. Let's see, man. Let's just keep on puking to the downside. We know this is a big growth name, and if the NASDAQ wants to give this up, I think we could have a decent spot here now for Uber. I mean, we're just short right here. You can get it with me now. So Uber short right now and NEO short. Unfortunately, we did take a hit on NEO because we got in too early. That was my fault. I put my order in there while it was still in its pending state of open. So we are short right now, 51.50. I did get some out. Let's see if it does break down below. And there goes Uber. What a big trade that's been for Uber there. Guys, if you could turn down that thing there. I hear myself in my, I can't do this. Go ahead, Neil.
Yeah, sorry, I'm getting the same thing, Sean, but I'm going to try to get to Virgin Galactic here. It's doing a bit of a consolidation off of these opening range highs at 32.20. So I'm trying to grab these 32s here. There we go. Thank you guys very much. That was kind of difficult to do. 32 even for an entry point. You see this chop. It got all the way down to pre-market lows before retesting the highs. Plug briefly broke that 35.80 level, but then snap right back. So fail breakdown. I jump right back into it when that's the play. Brendan?
Guys, top end of the relative strength list again today. Market very weak, though, on the lows right now. WFC leading, coming up to recent highs here for Wells Fargo, guys.
Let's go, guys. Sometimes it's just one great trade that matters, guys. And here goes Uber. Bang! Right to the downside. 56.80, 56. Just took that out. 56.13. Some trades out there on Uber. So maybe the NASDAQ now coming back a little bit. So we're going to watch out for this. What other pending orders do I even have around here? I am not sure anymore. BTC falling down. There it goes, man. Uber again to the downside. Good trade. Let's see how far this one wants to fall. I don't actually really have too many targets for Uber. We'll pull the chart back out and see what's happening. But 56 is a great little spot there. It's bounced off. Here's the 20-minute. 56 the last couple days here, back about a week. 56 was a key level. So let's see what it does around there. Our best out today, though, 56.08 or whatever that bottom is, was our best out today.
Oh, we actually hear that one. Okay, well, there you go. Plug Power actually failed break through that 36, 35, 85 area. It flushes, I make the bottom wick. But when that happens, snap back in at that re-entry price. Cover some at 70s here, and then take the rest. The reason I'm going to take the rest out at 37.60 to grab that like $1.50 winner. Still like that 38 level. Right, so we talked about 38 as a possible reversal point. It did pull back from there. If we're going to bust through, the new high is 38.10. I think we can play a 38.10 breakout. So you get back in on the off chance that you're able to either buy the dip, which would be in front of 36, or buy the break, which would be at 38.10. Here for me, I am into Virgin Galactic off that high. 32.11 is my current price short side. Brendo?
Another one to watch on the downside, guys. Kodak reported aftermarket yesterday. The earnings were actually not bad, kind of in line with expectations, but some of the comments they made afterwards looking a little negative as far as the forecast going forward is concerned. So Kodak on volume to the downside, guys.
Okay, so there goes NEO breaking to the upside there. So we're going to wait a little bit more. We're going to try it one more time. So we go short again right now. So we did get NEO's a loser for us now, but we'll see if it can't go out. I mean, it's just back and forth here today. It wasn't much of anything, but it did break 42, and we got out. And then we just do that same trade that we've done in the past, where we get back in, just not really believing that is the break. But hey, if it's going to go again, 42.10 coming through very, very soon. A 19-cent winner right now on Uber as that continues to go down. Palantir, like in the market going down. Palantir starting to go up. Like, is this bizarro world right now? Like, Palantir was down 4.5%, the market crashes, and now Palantir goes up. So, okay, I guess I just got to stay away from that stock, and then it will trade better. So let's not even talk about you, Palantir, as we want it to go up. Oh, shoot. We talked about that 235.50 break on Microsoft. Yeah, that worked. Down $1 from that breaking spot. Look at the market fading, though, guys. There goes Uber. A big win for Uber as it's getting spicy, man. Back down into the 40s here. A nice little 50-cent win for Uber. We've got 50 cents on NEO. So far, so good today, guys. The longs not coming in, but we are going to find some for you. What's up, Brendan?
Yeah, Palantir going up. So is this one. GameStop, guys, 5.5% to the upside. In fact, just took out that high from yesterday on a huge volume spike. Here goes GameStop, guys.
Oh, do that thing you do. Just got some more shares in Virgin Galactic. Now, it's testing that 32.50 high at least one time off the open, a couple of times shallow. And I love that if it's going to test lower highs. That's why I dipped into a few more shares here of Virgin. If it tests like 31.60, just below that VWAP, I would take some profit before that low of the day. But you are getting the rollover in the NASDAQ. And if it's going to be a sell situation, some of those names are going to be important. I actually thought Pinduoduo would show a little bit more weakness, maybe pushing through that 147.50. That was the level I had written down, but holding up at least for the time being. I think there's a chance that this one can break this level. I'm going to get my order ready to go if it's that sell day. That was the only thing I actually had written down for a sell break. So Pinduoduo is down 7%, means I should be able to hit this one in terms of hitting the bid, not SSR yet on PDD.
Okay, so there's the 90.50 level that we liked on Micron. So we'll take a little bit of a long there just to see if the NASDAQ does bounce back. We do like Micron for the chance here to go. In fact, this is that 90.50 area. We actually had a break of 92 that would have hit if the market kept going. Thank God it didn't. I mean, we would have got out. That probably would have been about a buck hit, about 50 cents or so. And we're doing the same thing right now. We've already tested this 90 low. So let's go in. I mean, we're in right now into Micron. This could be a big trade for me. So let's wait to see here what happens. But I'm not, because of the shares that I have, I think it's worth getting out if this breaks back down through 90. So a quick little 25-cent win for us now on Micron, but I think there's more to come, especially if the market rallies. Let's get out of some Uber.
Yeah, I just had to cover Virgin Galactic, somehow showing strength, and the market goes to the downside. And then that ZCMD, well, I'm going to chew through that one and mess it up a few times today, so apologies in advance. Retesting the opening range, not the opening range, the pre-market breakout price. That was at about like 344. I still think 320 is going to be the sign of weakness in this particular name. I am getting back into huge as it tries to bounce back up. That's been a much better short for me. And then watch out, we're about to take that high and plug. Not 38, 38.10 for me is the re-entry on the plug long. Just got it there. So thank you very much, Plug Power, for the bounce. Second time we'll have that one. Brendan?
FinTech acquisition holding up nicely as well. The market's still heading southbound here, but just tested that high from the pre-market right before the open, around 14 on a volume spike for FTCV, guys.
All right, we're going to get out one more time here, hopefully at 94 Micron. That's why we hit that money bag there. It goes from 90 up to 91. A quick little 50 cents. We take a little bit out, not enough. We realize that, so we're trying to get, there it is. I mean, now we have enough out. Hell yeah. Good trade on Micron, guys, giving that to you at 90.50. And if you notice here, right on the board, 90.50 there, right in the middle, MU. So there it is, man, a nice little win for Micron as it keeps going upside. I still like this 92 break, so let's get some out here. 91.25 should be good. We'll take 75 cents on Micron. We talked about getting out of Uber. That's obviously a good play there. As Uber's been out, we're very, very light on that. Less than 5% on Uber. And there goes Rocket. We execute this trade back through 24.80, so I like this play, but not going to be light on that. Less than 5% on Uber. And there goes Rocket. We execute this trade back through 24.80, so I like this play, but not going to give this one too much room as Rocket's struggling right now. But Micron right now, yeah, let's go Superman style on Micron. I mean, you can't have all the winners, but I'm happy to have one or two every once in a while.
Yeah, very happy to have these names. I'm glad we were looking at Plug. Sometimes the stock is beaten up, but the long is in play. We're able to get it back into this one after a really early pre-market trades, had a couple very early. And then off the open, we entered after that, getting that stop at 36. Just to give you a 38 break to 38.50, I'm going to hang on to some of those shares. If we do dip back down into like a 60 to 70 range here, and that's 37.60 to 37.70, and then can rally, I'd like to get back in on that type of a dip. Otherwise, let's see if we can't hold. We know that those levels up to 40 and 42. If it's going to fill in that gap, those are going to be important. Brendan just mentioned, and we're about to throw back to him here, FTCV broke this consolidation top Obviously, if it gave a consolidation long enough, I would have had this break in the afternoon. But if it's going to go here, I'm going to take this one into the opening range, pre-market highs. That's 1475. Hopefully, we can get there rather soon. First, let's go to Brennan.
An alert in front of the pre-market lows here on Pinduoduo just went off. There's not a lot of volume after the open here, but PDD still very weak, heading southbound, guys.
Yeah, I wrote down 150, and we don't trade Pinduoduo enough, and I actually forgot about that one. But there goes Micron, 75 cents in the money. Let's check out Pinduoduo. Damn it. Yeah, that was a solid play, breaking through that 150 there. But the thing is, if you took that early, which I wouldn't have taken it right away, it would have more been on this retrace back down. So yeah, a great call there. That's why I have to keep looking back at this list to make sure that we are solid on here. Rocket, we still got that long right now. That's fading out. We're going to give this one back to VWAP. So like 2450, a little bit lower than that, in the 40s. Maybe we'll give that some love. We're out of half now of our Micron, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So we may take out another piece on that one soon. But right now, man, there goes, we just got long Uber. Okay, keystroke error, so we're going to get out of this Uber. We don't mean to be long. But right now, the market's going to the upside. So not a bad little trade here by accident for Uber. So let's just get out and capture some of that money now. But right now, Rocket starting to move down. But I'm going to defend this 50. I think it's worth an average in.
Yeah, and did not average in when I absolutely should have. And this was the rollback up to the upside on Huge. At the same moment, managing a couple multiple positions here. And because I like to get the bulk of the position on the way down, I have to wait for the turn at 85 to get more shares in the 80 to 85 range, which does mean you open yourself up to missing that opportunity. Now, I do have the shares here to the short side at 75. I obviously will take some out in front of that 260, given the style of trade that I'm always going to do here. So it is what it is. Like I said, I still have like 250 as a reasonable target, not necessarily believing in the notion that Huge is going to go all the way to yesterday's close price. Every now and then you do get one of those retracements. I don't think that this is going to be that big of one. Just coming back over to FTCV, I think I said FV last time, so apologies. FTCV. Slight break. It does not move very rapidly. It's actually slowing down in terms of momentum, but the volume at 2 million shares, doing pretty good volume. If it can hold VWAP, fantastic. I'm giving it to like a 1360 because I believe we can get 40 or 50 pennies on this one and then hold some through a high of day break. The longer it holds those lows, the more I would actually like it, especially in the afternoon.
And guys, what about, let's go a little diamond hands here. I mean, it's not too often that I can have, or I have anyways, 80-cent winners on board as Micron. We picked that 950 like a sniper down there, man. We went right back to it. And that's why I think it's very, very important. I know I get a lot of love on Twitter for this. And this is the notepad, guys. The notepad, guys. There it is. 90.50 there in the middle, so you got to watch out for that. Uber's my biggest trade today on that 57 break. So right now, the sheet remains supreme for me today as it continues to work, man. And we're out again more, so we're out of 60% now. That was a gift right there at 91.20. So we did take some out up there on this NASDAQ move. And remember what we said, like take out some of your profitable stocks if they start running for you, especially if it's into the long. We are a little nervous. The market's on edge a little bit with Powell coming through. But like we said, a big move down, then a big move up. So let's see if that W shape is going to form out right now. Let's get a little more Micron off, and then let's hold the last 30% and see if we retest 92, guys. Good trade for Micron if you have it.
Yeah, and we talked about, Pinduoduo off the low. Think about that, a break like that 47.50. It was not clean whatsoever. This is the one candle wick. About $1 worth of movement in just a matter of seconds, and then the spread was like 25 to 30 cents. So tricky to be able to get that short in that direction. It did not go SSR, so I should have been able to get it, but I wasn't crossing deep enough there. And a lot of times you have to have a reasonable marketable limit order. I don't use market orders for that type of a trade. If we do come back and give some chop around that 47.50 into that 48.50, I'd re-enter the trade that way. Plug got shaken out of it, so took 2/3 for profit on the breakout trade at 38, and then got shook out of the rest. If it does test down at 36, I like that one, but might have to short Pinduoduo on a bit of a bounce back into this 48.50 range. Rendo?
Just checking on American Resources Corporation, which is a rare earth mining company. So AREC here on the NASDAQ up 27.5%. Some of the clean energy, some of the rare earth miners catching a bid, guys.
So so Micron, I mean, a big one, man. The bulls are kicking, at least in this name, man, as we just continue to go up. We have two positions on right now. Micron's a 76-cent winner, and we averaged into Rocket. I mean, like I said, man, like we're putting are trades on where we're telling you we're putting them on. Like, these are real trades coming through for you guys. So let's just hopefully this can keep going. I did take that break there of 24.80. We noticed it came down. We are trying to defend this 24.40 level. I'll dump the majority of that if that does come out. But I did want to talk about Palantir. I told you if I left it, then maybe today it would actually be going up. This is normally a spot where we're long. You guys know that we play these dips. So if you're long into like, it's fine. I just pissed off because normally we have this trade. But you know, if you take that 24.50, defending it with this 24.50, then I mean, look where you're in the money now. You're in the money a smooth 55 cents, or sorry, 55 cents. And, okay, so this is my next play. 25. I'm going to take a breakout. I know that sounds ridiculous, but that bottom yesterday was 25.30 or 25.20. So if we can get to 25.20 again, I'm going to punch this through and then see if we just hold it back down. Not too far because we know how far this can drop, but maybe back into the 90s or so. But I'm going to take Palantir on a punch through 25.20. Brendo.
Another one to the downside here, guys. AbbVie, yeah, 6% straight southbound for AbbVie today. The FDA has extended its review of the company's arthritis treatment that they're working on. So
yeah,
not good for AbbVie, guys.
Yeah, no, I own AbbVie, but again, that was another big value name that we bought like in the $60, $70. Shout out to my friend B, who also owns that stock. A big dividend. We talked about buying that together for a very long time, and we did. But look at Micron right now. Dap it up, guys. Micron up to 91.75. This is $1.25 in the money right now for Micron, and we're going to get spicier with a 92 break, guys. I like that trade. And here comes Palantir to 25.20.
So FTCV now goes up to those quarters on the 14 break, of course, that we had that one to the long side, and still in the money on huge, and that's going to hopefully be the case all the way down to 250. But I'm now watching GameStop. I mean, usually I'll have this one on my radar for the opening moves, but I was thinking potential breakdown, like if it couldn't hold 200. We're headed to the upside, and look, you go back, and this is now the 15-minute again, guys. You look at this 240 bottom. You look at all this chop between 240 to 250. I just feel like this is going to be a fade into those prices. When it comes to plug, I'll retest that 38 level if we can get back there, but I think staying away from it until it settles down and gives me a good level to work off is going to be the name of the game. So here's the move currently on FTCV. It's basically a slow grind, which I think can be a good thing. I like those orderly moves to the upside. If it gets to about that 1440 area, that's where I'm looking to take some shares off first. Just got some more shares out in huge, so that one's been a good one for me as that flushes itself down the toilet. I like to play the shorts on those retracements, and 3 good ones so far on huge. And Miss V at the big screen.
Hey Neil, SNDL is a popular name on the chat. Stock is down 2%, and Sundial reports its earnings today after the market closed. Back to you.
We tend to say sometimes stay away from earnings. You saw already the discussion around Tilray and the weakness in the overall space. Sundial tends, look, pre-earnings, if you have Tilray moving to the downside, Sundial's going to get beaten up. Now, it's only down 2% here. This is not, and I actually want to show you guys. Oh, there we go. There's a 15-minute chart. This is like a no-fly zone unless we're testing the 150 for potential breaks. So, and when I look at the size, there's essentially nothing on that offer for me. So it's not a very appealing name, even pre-earnings. I'm certain I'm going to be looking at this and actually trading it tomorrow. It's almost a guarantee because the volume and volatility is going to be a little bit better. I'd be shorting in front of 150 if I saw a level anytime I look at a chart like that, but there's just not too much to see here from a risk to reward standpoint. If you got down to that 135 price, that was a good one, a good price level on that name. But in the middle, not going to be touching this one. Huge is a much better trade for me here. Brendan? Not
terribly exciting on this one, but Tonix Pharmaceuticals on the list this morning. Some COVID-19 vaccine-related news. They released some positive data. They are making a vaccine as well. So just popping back up on volume here. 150, big level for this one, guys.
Yeah, I was just saying, I just tweeted out that we're loving this Micron trade right here, and we just got out again at 91.78. So we only have 10% left of this, and I don't have any orders. So we're gonna wait to see if it breaks through. Actually, I might as well, guys, put an order somewhere around here, like 91.90 or so, just in case that does test. Because if it does break 92, then I'll put on my largest position through that level. Look at the NASDAQ, and again, like profit. I don't think I'm a prophet, but we'll call it a chicken dinner winner. As I said to you today, that the NASDAQ, may get going here into Powell. So let's wait to see if that does happen. Congratulations if you believed in that off the open, because we did get a move down, which was hurt. and then right to the back of the upside. When we started talking about it being a better day, the NASDAQ was down about 1.2%. So it's battling back, and I wonder, is that part of Apple's story? 123, what is Apple doing today? No, see, it's still down 2%, bad for Apple. Microsoft back upside, so we love that Microsoft bottom at 234. Let's see if we can take out this top at 236.50. That might be the next play. But I just put in a big trade for Roblox. You guys like that trade? We don't have it on right now because it didn't do anything. Breaking through 79 on Roblox. I'm a buyer of Roblox yesterday, I think 72 or 73. I told you that story and I tweeted it out, and the tweet got a lot of love because I guess there's a lot of people in the same situation as me where we bought that based on our kids playing it and hopefully making some money back on Roblox due to the kids. So let's wait to see here. 79 break, I'm all over Roblox, guys.
Yeah, you guys remember that Roblox 79 from yesterday? We talked about that high. That's a trade that I always put these down on the list, and make sure you're watching them day 1, day 2, day 3. GE 1350 is going to be in play. But Lizzie testing day's high. Now, I don't like this day high break. This is 1375 for you guys here, just because of all the chop that it had above that price. 1450 looks a little bit more clean, and then of course if it retests that 1530 high, let's watch that. But I'm sort of locked and loaded, ready to go on that 79 for a couple of days on Roblox, and it's just too key not to have a look. But LIZI, if this pulls back, want to see it hold the afternoon bottom at 1260. That would be a key and important hold for that particular name, this name. Lizzie's been a fantastic runner if you've had it over the last couple of days. And it's not to say it can't extend further, but I don't like this top break because of the chop that you had all afternoon just above it. So it's, unless you're really scalping it for like 10, 15, 20 cents, which makes no sense to me on Lizzie, I wouldn't take that one. I'd wait for a dip or then look for a break a little bit higher on LIZI.
GE up as well today. Okay, so Roblox still doing its dance. Okay, Micron, actually, we took it and we didn't get our out that we wanted, so let's just... Boom! We talked about this being our big position. Let's see how high this wants to fly now. And if it goes, it goes. That's going to be great. Let's go, Micron, through 92. We're just scalping some out now as the NASDAQ taking high. But again, because we're in this position with shares, I don't mind taking this out for 20, 30 cent wins. So let's take it out now. Here goes Micron to the upside. We just took some out. 92.20, 92.25 there. We'll have to check some of the executions. But a big trade alert anyways for me on this one. The only thing that's falling down right now is Rocket. But right here, Micron with a nice little break through 92. We called that 90.50 long, 92. Hell yeah. To the bank, guys. We come crashing in with profits today. Hell yeah. Join the club.
Yeah, you better join that club, guys. It's what it's all about. If you like what you see here, definitely hit the like button. Take a couple of seconds. I love the animations. You see the production team going to work with that one. It's not necessarily a plane crash because the market, we're still holding 13,000 on the NASDAQ, but I want to come to, I guess, a bit of a recovery play here, and that's going to be Caterpillar, which has been just an awesome performer. You're going to see it rounding towards some highs. And again, if tech gets beat up, you start thinking about what's going to look pretty good here in terms of a stable name. Now, I love Caterpillar. Now, 230 break would seem like it makes some sense. Let's watch. The reason I don't like it, I'm going to show you right here, guys. We look at this 232 top. That's what I'm waiting to see happen. On any kind of a dip, 225 for sure on Caterpillar. That's an afternoon probably type of play. I don't see us getting there anytime soon. But 232 on Cat is worth a look. We're again testing 79, that top on Roblox, just sort of hovering around it. Brendo?
A little tiny aerospace name here. Was just checking $58 million market cap for CBI Aerostructures. They secured about $10 million in funding from Lockheed Martin for some work. So CBU on the NYSE Arc exchange here, just popping up on the volume radar. $7 coming here, guys, for CBU.
Okay, we're just waiting for Micron to continue its march higher. So we're not going to get any more out. Big trade alert for me on that one as it's back up now 25 cents and just continues to rip. There it is. Nice dance V as we crack through 2,000. Probably on some of these trades, guys, like 90.50 there, 92. We've been pounding the pavement on this one all day. So hopefully you guys have that with us. 92, a big trade there as it's just ripping now. I don't have any targets for the upside. We can check this out now. 92. 93 is the next level to crack, so that could be a big trade. Then maybe up to 94. You're up that 0.9% right now on Micron, and it's just trying to make us even a bigger winner than we already are today. So let's just see if that keeps on going to the high side right now. Go, Micron. We're going to take another piece off. Yeah, we're walking on water right now on Micron, and we'll take another piece off here. Hey, what's up? Walking on water guy. There it is, 92.40, 92.43, 92.45. Bang, bang, bang. Big time trade alert here for MU for your boy as it just continues to rip city.
I'm not sure if we're going to Brent in a second, but I want to go back over to CrowdStrike. I talked about 201. I'm gonna change that price off the open break and change my price to make sure I cancel the old order for the stop. We like that sort of consolidation. If there was going to be a break to the upside, which the market's trying to do here, I want a 201 break if that was going to be a key level. We tested higher, now have 202 as a much better breakout price, at least in terms of a setup for me. So just a quick adjustment. I know it was 01s I was watching before on CrowdStrike. If it breaks 202, we're going to get into that name. Huge continues to flush down towards 250, which of course was my target. So I'm going to be out pretty soon. But FTCV, got to watch out for that one. It is coming down. It needs to hold these lows, which is exactly what it did in yesterday's action. Actually just started to turn to buy a dip off 1370. So once it turned, made a bit of a bounce, then I try to average into it instead of averaging on the way down. But if this takes out the low, I will be out of FTCV. And then below 1340, I mean, I'm looking for probably shorts into some of yesterday's levels to the downside. 12 was a big one. I don't think we get there necessarily, but you can't rule anything out on Fed Day.
Okay, so Rocket Mortgage, we did get out there at 40 or at a 50 break, so we got out of half there. So we're going to hold the rest and just see if we can't somehow get some profitable trading on that one. But I mean, it just continues to go, man. We'll just continue to stack up the cash right now on Micron. As you know, like I said, man, we're positive today. We've had a couple of mistakes. Neo wasn't the great. I mean, we're only negative on one stock, Neo and Rocket, but Neo now. Look at this, man. Banging to the upside. Huge upside move on Neo on a retracement of the NASDAQ. Let's go, Micron, man. We're still rocking and rolling. What a big day this has been, Brendan, at the board.
Hey guys, yeah, 10 o'clock. Let's go into North American markets here. See some red numbers, unfortunately. Just the Dow, you can see higher right now. 0.17%. So the Dow at least trying to help out things, but you can see NASDAQ still leading to the downside. 0.8%, 0.76 for the composite and the 100. S&P at the top there, 0.3% to the downside. The Russell's negative, 0.6% to the downside. Here in Toronto, the TSX has also gone into positive territory. Let's go over and have a look at a few things from the watch list. CrowdStrike, first off, was really wanting a test of that high from aftermarket. Obviously didn't get anywhere near that in the pre-market. We're back to 200 though, so it is trying to hold at 200 for CrowdStrike. Remember, earnings were decent overall. FTCV, Neil was just talking about this. Just wanted to show you that 14. I mentioned that right off the bat there, and then 1350 at the bottom end of the pre-market. Could be the line in the sand for FTCV, guys. Back to you.
Absolutely. And speaking of lines in the sand, I always have one in pre-market action. And I'm going to go to huge for that reason. Like I said, I got out. It's almost top wicket 305. I don't get back in, of course. I try to chase. I showed you almost live, basically, as I was trying to chase it at 85 and 90. I did finally get back at 75. There's my target at 250. And I do still have a little bit left here on the off chance that we're going to go lower. But I'm going to sell into that, sort of buy back into that every single chance we get. If we do get a push back in to that 75 to 85, I will reload on huge. This is one of those where I could actually hold this position the entire time. I just got this little consolidation dip on FTCV, so I stay long in this name. This is going to be floodgates if it breaks that low of the day, no doubt about it. You guys are mentioning, just watch it, Roblox is back at that 79 range. But you guys are mentioning, I see in the chat there, Dan, talking about Sundial at that 150, unless I see something really, really good here on the offer. I mean, this is just, it's not a lot of size. It's done 40 million shares here. It's not a heck of a lot for a breakout style trade. It would look a little bit better if it follows through past these little levels here at like 153 and 152. That's why 150 break right into previous close prices and where we're chopping around for in the aftermarket is not the most appealing to me. I'd probably let it take those highs like 52, 53, unless there'd been gigantic size in the offer, which I just showed you. Nothing to see there at that 150 in particular.
Okay, so we got into Roblox on a 79 break. We actually got that high, 79.10. That was the high, so I think we made it. I mean, what was that?
Oh, I have my, okay.
Yeah, 79.10, so that's the high there. So we'll see. We have real shares on, guys, so let's wait to see what happens with this one. We're going to give it back to here, 77.50, so it'll be a big hit if it doesn't work, so that's for sure. But you guys know about that one. Okay, here goes Palantir, and your boy did it again on this name. So, you know, look at that buy at the bottom there. We pick up a little bit of a dip buy. We picked that up right there. there. Now we're getting out 04s, 05s, 06s. So this is another 11-cent win here for us. Plus, now, I mean, going higher and higher. Hopefully we can get some out to actually make a win. We'll get some out at 05 there. There it goes. Did I get hit there? Yeah, there it is at 05. And we do have an 07 waiting. But so far, so good on this name. Palantir to the upside. Micron, I mean, this is $3 winner right now for you if you want it. Well, close, $2.75 in the money off this 90.50. Ding, 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 ding. And then I told you we put on our largest trade of the day for any of us right now today. $92 breaks, and then we go right to the upside for Micron now, right to the upside. So that was a big, big trade. I mean, right now, though, because I put on shares on Roblox, this is a very, very slippery slope. So we got to watch out now. I may get some out if we do retest back down to this low, 78.50. We may dump a little bit out here just in case that 79 was the top. Yeah, looks like it's breaking back to the downside. What up, Beep?
Mr. Dan McIsaac wants to know about this one. TMBR, Timber Pharmaceuticals, up big time today. Yeah, 20%. I actually didn't see this in the pre-market, so good catch there. 260, 275. If you look at the daily chart, may get up here to 280. We'll see. But the news is they signed a licensing agreement for a dermatology treatment over in Europe. So they're teaming up with another company to get one of their treatments over in Europe. So yeah, positive, guys.
Thanks, Brendan. I just got into CrowdStrike. It just took that top at 202. It's going to retest. I mean, it just very, very briefly just retested that 201 area before snapping back. I like this one too. Those pre-market chop ranges around that 205 area. It'll take some profit in front. Then look for us to retrace some of those highs. Now, we talked about this name for an afternoon type of dip play. It already made the move down when the market started rebounding back above that 13,000. I like CrowdStrike for that break. Look, I'm not saying we get to that yesterday top of like a 210, but certainly holding a third for that type of move makes a heck of a lot of sense to me. So into CrowdStrike, just got that long position. Again, and just to clarify here, I said tops on Roblox. My order, and thank you, Sean, for pointing it out, 79.11 is the high. So my order is to the high of the day on Roblox. That's why I'm not into that one just yet. And then speaking of things that are close to the high of the day, a little bit of a rollover on that Caterpillar, so I mean it has to break 230 to even get to that 230, 232 range for me. But I still like the defense on any dip of Caterpillar down around 225. At some point we'll get to GameStop, but I was anticipating it was going to make a bit of a bigger move to the upside that I could have faded. That was not the case. It was the case that I did get back into that FTCV, and it took out the low of the day. Once the low day is out, I'm out of that trade. $1 in the money, though, on CrowdStrike is not necessarily enough. Got to go at least $1.50 to $2 before I start taking profits on that name. $200 stock, guys.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You need a higher price than that. But CrowdStrike, good trade there. I mean, again, it's on our watch list. So definitely, guys, make sure you check out the watch list for that. Roblox falling. So we just got out of Roblox there for a hit. So right down to 77.50. This may be a good time to actually buy finally there. We took out the top there on Roblox. Just thought that they would get some, anxious buyers there. And it looks like that may have, we'll see if it may have failed or not. We'll take another bid right now on Roblox just to see. And now we got to give it, I mean, that's that VWAP there. We probably just got wicked out, so let's wait to see. Not wicked out, sorry. Wicked out is not even a thing. I mean, we got stopped out. It breaks my level, and I get stopped out. So, but there's that bottom wick, 77.16. So we'll wait to see if that holds. But, I mean, I'm not going to use it there. We got to give this back. How about just a 77 break here, guys? If we could break through 77, then we'll get out. Let's see if we can't make that money back to 79 right now. Big hit for Roblox for me there. But, we tried it. I liked it. We liked the name. It's still up that 1%. But we did take that break of 79 there and made the new high of the day on that. So a 77, let's see if it goes, guys. 78.50 maybe. We'll see if we can take $1 back on part of this. And then we'll wait for 79 break on Roblox, which will probably take again if it gets back up there. But right now, man, everything's rocking and rolling. Give it to us, Brendo.
Another one moving here, guys. Little one, ONCT, 10% on the day. Just taking out day highs here, 920. Yeah, I don't think we talked about this one yesterday, but I remember the past 2 or 3 days we saw this one moving as well on positive news for ONCT. Back to the upside, guys.
Oh, I know if it was moving. You talked about it, Brendan, because that's what happens around here. Look, that's part of the game. You got to find all the stocks. Of course, you can get a CrowdStrike that has earnings, easy pickings there. Everyone's talking about Roblox for sure. It's a hot stock, but you got to have what is actionable. And I know that we're getting some market moves, but hey, we're still at that 1% down on the NASDAQ. We're not extending anything. Just got another leg out there on CrowdStrike. Now I'm holding for that 210. So you're gonna take like I actually said like $1 to $2 or $1.50 to $2. The last little win here is gonna end up being right in that 220 range. So not quite 250. I do want to see if we can't hold for a 210. CrowdStrike was the name that I was looking for on that little breakout. So you have to have a bit of a plan of action depending on what you think the market is going to do. LIZI starting to pull back in. So I thought maybe, and again, I didn't like the break, and I sort of gave you the reasons why I didn't like that breakout through that high, and that's because of yesterday's resistance at 1450 multiple times. So if it gives a dip down into, this is a 15-minute chart here, guys, a dip down into like this 13 range, I think that makes a heck of a lot more sense on Lizzie as opposed to taking that 14 break, which obviously has failed, but only for the time being. It doesn't mean the stock can't continue to go up. It's been such a strong bounce. And then maybe when it retests like 16, 17, it can reverse. But I can see all kinds of reasons why I would continue to push. But I got to go through that 1450 first, guys.
All right, I've just learned a big, huge lesson today, and every day I seem to be getting better at this, and we still have some Micron, but what I'm saying is, just trading this name there, we looked at it early, it was one of the strongest names that's on our watch list, one of the strongest names that we have today, up 2% Micron, and it just continues to make new highs on the day. So 93.28 right now, there it is. So you make the money on Micron, lose the money on Roblox, but there it goes, guys, still to the upside with some catalyst behind it on an upgrade plus the right space here for MU. So watch out. We talked about AMD on some dips as well. Again, not with the same catalysts, but still holding up pretty good. This is not a day traded stock. When you look at a stock that looks like this, as opposed to, like I just said, Micron, that has the momentum behind it. Maybe I should get out at some of this. I mean, this Micron is just extending a little further past where I thought it would, to be honest with you. But there goes Micron. We talked about it 92, 93 on the daily chart, and now you get it, yesterday's high 94. I don't know why we'd get to yesterday's high, but if the NASDAQ keeps going, man, no point in dumping this stock right now. Let's just hold on to Micron as it just continues to rip to the high side. We could check back in on Rocket. Yeah, not doing anything right now, so that's a mistake right there. Not a mistake, but whatever. We did get, so this is what I'm saying. We go flat on Palantir, guys. Like, damn you, as soon as I look at Palantir, it starts doing the opposite, so we got to get away. So I bought again there. We dumped it off that VWAP break. We take it again. We're going to try to defend. I'll move this over so you guys can see the time. I guess maybe I resized this chart a bit there. Move it over so we can see the time and the prices. So right here, 24.75. We got out on that break. That just, washed us clean there. Now let's see if we can't get back again. And it looks like, guys, holding on to something on Palantir seems to not be working. So if we could just keep getting these out for 10, 15 cents, we should do that. So 79 means my next out's going to be around here, 90s or so. So let's wait on Palantir to the upside and then just average in all the way till about $24 if it keeps coming down. These are not huge positions. You guys know the playbook.
Yeah, and what the playbook usually is here, and I'm going to show you CrowdStrike pushing into 210 now. You look at these prices, these are like ridiculous no volume wicks up there. The real actual action in the pre-market was at that 208 level, which I just saw it turn away from. So if it does make another retest, maybe like 206, 207, I should be taking the $5, anticipating a dip back into VWAP, which would be 200. For the time being, the market's with me. So I'll maintain the order that we have right now to get out through the top, just simply because we are still bouncing in the overall market. Speaking of bounces, I don't know why I was looking at 76. You said 77, Sean, and I was looking back at Roblox, at that pre-market high at 76 even, and then you get the little dip down in the 76. So I'm sort of thinking to myself, okay, be patient. The 79 break didn't really go for you here, so I never really got the definitive move through, so I didn't get long through that break, unfortunately, but I was looking for the dip at 76. If you took 77, you already got like a 70, 80 cent winner, and you're working your way towards maybe a retest of those highs of day. Once you've missed, I'm not going to chase it here. Have to wait patiently for that 76, unfortunately. But again, sometimes you can be a little bit too, I don't know, what the picky, I guess is the word, for a reentry point. And I go from that to this because it's the same thing over here on Plug, where the last long I had was off of 36 even, 36.15. I was waiting at that same price. I look at it bounce off of 26, so bit of a missed opportunity for me there. We're range bound now in Plug. So if it's going to retest anywhere close to that 15, I'm going to try and take like 35 to 40, get in advance of that, allow it to take out that higher low at 25, and then you can have a separate trade off of that 35.75, which ended up holding. This was my out, and I said 85 to you guys. That's right. I took it out when it broke 85. This was the bottom of that consolidation, 35.70. So sometimes you go to that 1 minute chart and it's like, yeah, you should have given an extra 10, 15 cents. Easy thing to see and correct next time.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different kind of charts you can look at, guys. Just make sure that you're always keeping consistent so that you can track your stats through. Okay, right now, GE, I mean, 1340. I can't believe I lost on a 1280 long the other day. So right now, GE looking like a strong name. The S&P is still down, man. Let's check out what the diamonds are doing right now. The diamonds, of course, is the Dow Jones 100 or 30, NASDAQ 100. The diamonds, I guess, positive, but a big move down here in the Dow. If you want to invest into some indexes and you don't have the ability to actually play the futures game or anything like that, DIA, similar to QQQ, similar to SPY. So you can watch out for those. I like GE on that top break. There goes Roblox. Where's my offer? I thought I was getting some out here. Yeah, $77.99 I'm actually waiting at right now. Seems a little bit silly, but we'll see if we can't take 50 cents on this part. But we did already get spanked down all the way back down here. Unfortunately, I wasn't going to give it to 77. I was only giving it to this break of 77.50. And on that break, we got 20 cents worse than we thought. But there it is there. A nice little win for Roblox to go. So we'll see if it can keep going to the high side right now. We have this one now 75 cents in the money and still making moves. So good on us for taking this trade, but not a great break of 79 to begin with. Let's hold on to some Roblox and see what happens. B. Wickens, what you got, bud?
Just looking around at some different groups, guys. Came across XPeng here, XPEV, back to the upside as well. Just took out that pre-market high, that low from yesterday on some decent volume. So XPeng again today. Remember, a little bit of positive news earlier in the week this week, but back to the upside again today.
I can't show you my Neo daily chart because that one just crashed on me. But you go to XPeng. We can maybe look at Tesla in a second. But NIO pushing back up to yesterday's lows, at least at 43.20, and then back over to a couple of sessions ago. We did have a dip into that same price that was held rather nicely if you're holding the long. As we get into this range, this is where I tend to look for a potential rollover here. But you do loom up at like 43.70. You're not necessarily wrong until we're breaking yesterday's close. I'd call it like 43.70, 43.75 or so. So you'd have to start relatively light at this 43.20. You're really digging into this. I think a more like a 50 or 60 is a much more reasonable position to take and a line to take. But I do look at the NASDAQ, and if I can just quickly show you guys over here in the NASDAQ, you do look at this level here, like 1307. We're sort of testing into that range here. I'm not a futures guy like Arun, but if you're looking at a rollover in the market and you're anticipating we're not going to extend into that level, sometimes you turn shy of it. And if that's the case, do you want to miss out on something like an NIO here? So this is my frozen daily chart. So if it starts to go, I would probably get a smaller position here in the 20s to 25 range, but the dig in would be at that 50 to 60 because 75 is where I would be wrong on that short.
Okay, so new trade alert. We will hit the air horn for that one because we do have that GE break now. So we're long at 41s, of course. And again, the stop order just triggers us into that. So now, there we go. All I'll do is call that up. A nice little 2-cent win there and trying to make moves higher. My target for this trade, again, we'll pull up a 20-minute chart for you. My target, I mean, we're right here. We're right at that level. That's why we liked it. This little bottom was 50. So I think if we can get to 50, that's good. We do have real shares on, so we'll take a little bit off again if it continues to go. So I do have an order at 44 as well. And then after that, I think we can sufficiently wait for something like a 1350 level, which would be a big trade for me if we can get that. So that's good for us on that one. Micron, we did get some out there, and now we only have a small 10% left of this position. So now we're going here, 93.40. Hopefully that can continue to go to the upside. Did I just get hit at 44? Yes, I did. So another big win for us here on GE. And you might think like, oh, wow, man, taking 3 pennies is not that big, but you got to consider share size. So it's a chicken dinner winner now. We'll see if we can't go higher now on GE, breaking hopefully higher. We'll wait for 1350 to come. I may just piece this out all the way on the way up. Roblox now 85 cents in the money, and we take off a little piece there as well. So making back a little bit on Roblox. We lost way too much on it, though, but that's okay. We'll just keep making it back, keep making those games, Roblox. You entertain my kids, at least.
Hey, look, I mean, that's literally all they got to do, right? And then people will spend those Robux. So GameStop, like I said, if it had tested higher, I would have been involved in that rollover short. I did think it was going to be a short, but like I told you guys, 240 to 250 was what I wanted it to extend into. You already have a $15 pullback, so maybe not as strong as it has been in the past. Just to get back over to CrowdStrike, it's still looking okay. But I say, the reason I use the word okay is our first leg out, turns out there was consolidation there, just of course well after I got out of it. So 204, I don't want 204 to roll over on me, right? So if this breaks 204, I can bank another $2 here, then look for a deeper pullback, maybe cash like 200 on a bit of a dip buy. I still like is to have a shot if we consolidate break. From this point, I know normally if I was bearish on the stock, I'd be shorting a level like this, right? So this is a setup that I would like. That's why I will get out if it breaks the 04 range. But someone that's into this little consolidation short going against the grain, stops will likely be around that high of day. I'd usually have mine at 06. But a lot of people would have it at that top. That's why I'm sort of targeting above here to try like a 208 or so to catch that. Like it'll be a $6 one. I know I said 5 or 6. We'll go with 6. But if it breaks that high, I think you get momentum into that previous pre-market high. That's why I'm still holding on to some CrowdStrike. But I don't want it to go below that 204. I think that would be throwing away some profits. I want to come back to Caterpillar because it did test and break 230. Told you why I didn't like a 230 break going into that 232 high on the daily chart. Yeah, it gives you like 15 cents and then goes right back in. So I don't like breakouts that run immediately into some of those trouble levels above. That's why I didn't take Caterpillar, even though I like this stock a lot on a dip.
Oh man, GE, we get some out at 46 and then it comes crashing back down. So we should have took more profit on that GE trade, but we did not. Look at Palantir, man. The average in continues and the money now coming inside for that one. So you roll the dice on this slippery name and then just get paid off there quite nicely, man. We told you about averaging in and then it just takes off on this NASDAQ move. So we're battling, man. We're battling today. We're battling hard and I'm doing it for you guys, man. Just taking these trades, taking the names that you guys like. Micron, a big win now at the high of the day. Palantir, big one there. Rocket finally back into the money now. Roblox, an 80-cent win off of a bad initial entry through there. May get another piece off, but so far so good, man. It's been a big day for us. Brendan at the big screen. Let's go.
Just saw there's an airline, guys, IPOing today. I'll just leave that with you. Let's talk about a couple of small caps we were talking about in the pre-market here. We'll start with Huge, up 18% still, but yeah, well off these levels from the pre-market. $3 and then $3.30 was the top end of the range here. That was tested. Doesn't get much easier, really. It broke, obviously downside, retested, gave you a chance to get more. We're all the way down to $2.40 now on Huge. FSD Pharma moving southbound. Same with ZCMD. Two trades. This was pretty obviously strong in the pre-market, making higher highs and higher lows. If it's strong, buy it. 340 was the top end of the range here. We broke that, got all the way up to 4. So really nice flush off of the open. But this reversal and the volume that came in on the way down. Show me a stock is weak, I'll short it. Gets back below 340. Give you an opportunity, a little consolidation below that key level. We're working our way back down to 270. So ZCMD going both directions, giving you opportunities today, guys. I think it's SNCY. I'm going to check, but yeah, that airline IPOing today, guys.
Good look, Brendan. He's always going to give us the straight goods, as we like to say around here. I talked about that 250 on Huge. When it broke, I'm like, well, if it's going to be a level, I'll take a bit of a scalp trade off of there. So I ended up getting 48s. Now, of course, I'd already gotten out of my short. So that's a bit of a scalp trade, 48s. I was trying to get some out at 40s and took some out at 44. If it breaks back above here, I still like being net short as long as we hold this little, it was a secondary breakdown off of like 260. So if we can hold that, I'd probably work into more. I don't think it's worth throwing away your morning on it for a short down here, but dipping back in made some sense to me off that 250. You know what? I'm not going to bother. I'm not going to go over to GameStop just yet. I think GameStop. I keep saying GameStop just yet. Plug just got me in at 36.35, so got a re-entry into that stock. We talked about Lizzie and not being a great breakout, but if it tests any lower, and it's got to break this 13.20 or so. If it tests any lower, I do like this little dip. You did have a bit of a pullback off of the open into this like 12.85 range, so watch out for Lizzie in that particular price range. Brennan?
All right, here we go. Apollo is behind this. Yeah, it's Sun Country Airlines raising $220 million going to market today. SNCY on the NASDAQ, guys. Has not opened yet, but we'll keep an eye on that one.
I'm going to pass on any sort of an IPO regarding our friendly airlines, but we'll wait to see on that one. That's going to be, I guess, a good IPO if you like that kind of stuff for the airline business there. And for me, it's going to be a hard pass on that one. Okay, so GE does go to the upside. I mean, something to work out for, and we'll watch to see when that does come through. 1340. So GE does make that move to the high side there, and feeling like we missed it, obviously, on that opportunity because we did have what was a good opportunity, obviously, to get out there in the 40s on a big trade. But we did get out of a decent amount of it, just not enough. So let's see if that continues to go now to the high side. I sure hope it does. Roblox coming back in. That's why we emptied that out up there. So we still have a little bit, but not much. And then Palantir, man, what a good trade this has been. Like, we washed it out there, but now we pick up the bottoms again, and it goes back to the high side as the NASDAQ continues to make a move higher. So far, so good on Palantir. Okay, Palantir, I see you. We're long right now, guys. 72s. So a smooth 40 cents or 35 cents or so on that one. And then look at Rocket. Rocket's starting to go as well. We dumped out half there. Now we're back into the money on the upside, waiting for a 25 break on Rocket. But let's get out, I think, some more Palantir here. At 25 makes sense to me. So there we go. We take out some 01s there on Palantir. So let's just wait on this one, but still making moves to the high side. And we're just doing what we said, man. I called it. I said, if we could take out 20 cents and just start scalping, that's what we should do. And then not cry over spilt milk if it just keeps on going upside. That's part of trading, guys. So Palantir, nice little trade. There's some size there at 25. Let's just keep getting out, man. I can't believe we can make money on the long today on Palantir when it seems to always struggle.
Sometimes that's what you got to do. And it's like, look, you see those dips into VWAP, and again, if you like a trending stock or you have a bit of a bias, that's why we like to play those levels. Sometimes you have to lay in the cut like a ninja there and then sort of pounce. And I talked about Plug when it got into this range, right? So it made this little bottom here at 36.30. I said if it came back down there, we would just play off of it. So I ended up getting exactly 35s. I'll play some out at VWAP for a 30-cent win. I'll play some out near the top end of the range for a 55-cent win. 56, I mean, you're splitting hairs there. I'm sort of being cheap by caring about a penny. But if it goes through the top, I want to allow it to break 37.50, maybe retest those highs. The breakout trade wasn't a great one. I took 2/3 out for a win. I took the rest out for a loss, losing 50 pennies. So that ends up being overall flat. Buying the dips has been a much better play in Plug, at least for the time being. So another nice winner there. I'm going to wait on that Lizzie. I don't want to jump into it entirely too early there, but I have to come back over to a huge because, like I said, this is not a hill to die on. But if it does try to roll over in the 55 to 60 range, we'll push a little bit higher than this, I would jump back into some shares, give it to that 65, and then see if it can test even lower. It is pushing into that range now. Patience is a virtue here. This is the chop range, gave you like a half an hour of time at 55 to 60. So if it goes back there, unless it's a huge volume spike, and if there's a huge volume spike on huge into that 55, 60 level, I probably won't average in. That just seems suicide when it's already been such a good short.
All right, so finally, we say WTF to you, Rocket Mortgages. Yeah, Neil's trading huge. We've got a couple. It's actually good today because we're trading many different names for you. So, huge over there. I got some huge winners, but not huge today. Rocket starting to go now. It just sucks, again, that this happened. And we talk about it all the time. And it's not, like I said, it's not, I'm not going to say you don't get wicked. Like, this is not getting wicked out. This is me getting stopped out, right? So when it breaks back down below this 24.50, that's what happens. It just turns out that you make that low. Like, I mean, it's like 6 more pennies than I probably deserved there. So that's okay. But now we're going to the high side with Rocket. So maybe that can get going now finally. And we waited, man. Sometimes patience is a virtue, and I don't hold one. I don't hold that as a virtue. But Roblox going back upside. Thank you so much. Never stop your hustle, Sean. Love your style. Thank you so much. We'll talk always. I like that 420, Will. I see what you're doing there. Thank you so much. Look, I'm not going to stop, right? Some people try to stop me, but you cannot be stopped on this one. We say, what's up to Drip Squad? What's up to Hydration Nation as we continue on that one. And thank you for all the love on Twitter, guys. I mean, that's just been impressive. I never thought. Like, I started this with 0 followers, obviously. Now over 16,000, 16,500, something like that, with tons of engagement. So I just want to give a big thank you to everybody out there for that. And thank you for those kind words. Will, can't stop, won't stop. Yeah, Dan McIsaac, you guys know what's good. I love Sean. That's everybody. Okay, enough of that. Thank you for the love affair, but we're a trading show. GE to the upside, good trade. Micron, back to day's high again. Oh, what? It touched 94. Okay, we should have got out there. But a big win for us on Micron, guys. Multiple dollars in the money here as it goes up. That was a beautiful pick. Ding, 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 ding. Let's sit here and get out, man. 93.80. I'll take it all day long on Micron as we continue to go, man. One of the best stocks for me today. GE also on a one-time killer through 1340. Bang that to the upside. The only stock I give the finger to today is you, Roblox. We only have one real loser on, and that's this trade right here on Roblox. So again, not wicked out, not wicked in. We take the 79 break on purpose. It's just we make that high of the day, and then we get back in and make a little bit of money back, as now it's dropping back down. I've talked way too much. Take it over, my friend.
Yeah, and look, we always try to keep it real here, guys. And I talked about my order on CrowdStrike. You can see right here. We actually put it in our system, so we can put it in our system. We do for you guys. So you can see I have a limit order. This yellow dot is when I put this offer in front of 208. It goes right up and looks like we touched 207.70, just pennies away, and then we're turning back around. Now, if I get stopped out at 204, that's one of those situations where when you're reviewing the trade, price area good doesn't mean you got the fill, so you got to be able to put that in as like a half win. And I should have got out, when I saw it reverse, I should have got out aggressively at 207 and not waited for the entire retracement, but a bit of a missed opportunity on CrowdStrike. Still going to be a winning stock for me, still going to be maybe it'll be my top stock. We'll actually have to see how the rest of this works out with Huge. But it's been a good one off that break, and it's always good to go to Brendan for some breaking.
I just saw some of these media companies down big time today, guys. This is Discovery, D-I-S-C-A on the NASDAQ. You can have a look at Viacom as well, V-I-A-C-A or B, whatever you'd like. Down 5.5% here for Discovery. Just bounced off 71. Really nice looking daily chart, but finally getting some sellers, guys.
All right, so we just took some out here. More out on GE, and again, guys, like this is a big trade for me. I can't say that enough. Like, you know, when you actually look at GE and you look at a stock, that's why I was so pissed off the other day when we took a hit on it, because we're actually, you know, making money, and you know, we don't like to take those hits. And today, of course, this is more my style, man. Just machine gun it. Take some trades right there and ding, 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 out to the upside there. Okay, yeah, shout out to Sean right here. Dan, what's up, Dan? For wanting El Presidente Dave Portnoy on the show. Look, I want. And, you know, if you guys can help, start sending tweets at that guy. Tell him to get on our show. And then maybe it'll help his ratings out a little bit, because then he'll be on Trader TV Live, right? So that should help him out, and he should like that. So Dave Portnoy, yeah, you're welcome on, my friend. I think me and him fit each other pretty good. Let me know if you guys think that we would make a good team. But we already have my teammate. I already got my partner there. Neil's over there on the. I guess you're on the north side where we're sitting. Neil's on the north side right now. So
oh, you're right. Yeah.
I got my north side squad with me, and then over there on the back side, a fellow Bramptonite. What's up, Brendan?
I guess I'm kind of west of you at this point.
You are west of me.
Yes.
Yep.
This studio, we have no windows in here, so it's hard to tell. There's literally no
don't tell
windows in
people that. Now they think we're locked in a
It's
cave.
10:30, guys. We have to get to what I'm trying to say here. Coming up in 45 minutes, stick around, because we have a very exciting guest. Really excited about this one, a lithium miner. So we're going to talk about some precious metals and some rare earth mining for Ion Energy. So stick around for that, coming up in about 45 minutes at 11:15. In the meantime, Miss V is watching what's going on over in Europe today. A little red over there too, V.
Hey Brendan, European markets are trading lower as more European countries suspend AstraZeneca's vaccine use. BMW trading in Germany is up more than 6% after it posted annual report saying it would see a significant profit growth this year. Back to you.
Yeah, automakers strong right across the board, depending on what market you're looking at, guys.
So it's not often that I'm going to be really happy and hit like a hit boom when I exit this last third of plug for a small loss. But I'm going to show you why I like it. A, because I'm going to follow my rules a little bit better than the first time I had the dip buy. But B, look at that wick down here. Prints some dark pools to 34. I use a different stop order in our system, which is not going to get tricked by that. So, and again, that's just one of the advantages of day trader world. We have multiple stops. I can have one that's going to read the actual time and sale. So it's like any random print that comes off, and then you're going to get triggered. Or it'll actually read the level 1, level 2 price, which is a little bit more accurate in terms of whether it's moved there. So shout out to Day Trader World for saving me getting out here. Obviously, I would have liked to see plug bounce back, but if I'm playing inside of the range now, I want out in front of the top, scalp out in front of the top, not allow it to break. If we want to retest that 35.80, sorry, 35.75 to 35.85 level, let's go ahead and do that as a separate trade. Market trying to roll over. CrowdStrike, I showed you guys live. I got greedy with that one, so we'll end up just taking basically all of it's going to be like this $2 range for the win. I wanted to extend to that 208 break area. It got like within pennies of my price. You saw it reverse. I should have been out when it broke that 207. A trailing stop could certainly work though. So once it breaks like the 0506, if I just put like $1 trail on it or like a 50-cent trail, that would have made a heck of a lot of sense. I don't love trailing stops, but that's a good place for it in that particular grade. If we do take out the top at some point, I think as an afternoon play, that could be a good one through like 208, maybe 210. And I still want to see us hold VWAP, so a dip to 200, definitely in the cards, especially if we're not screaming down on the market. CrowdStrike seems like a good one off 200. It's been a relatively strong stock compared to the rest of these, I guess, tech names. And the overall sort of cybersecurity has been a hot flyer. So I like this one to hold up positively. That could always change. Everything changes potentially around the Fed, so I wouldn't be defending 200 blindly into the afternoon on their announcement.
Look, guys, we're putting yeah, exactly. I mean, look, this is what we're doing. Educating, talking about possible events to come, things like that. I mean, how could you not like the show? Look, I'm reading on the chat here, and I know that we have our usual suspects that are here, and that's great. But everyone, they're loving Valeria's hair. We have the best show. Here we go, Miss V, cute hair, et cetera, et cetera. And there's another super chat. Let's see what that is. Hey, what's up? Guadalajara, Mexico, tequila country. Shots for everyone. We'll show for $5 though here in Canada. You can get about half a shot. So we'll just give that to Valeria. Thank you so much for that. But look, Valeria, people commenting on your hair, people commenting that they love the show. But then I look over and it's 2.3K and over 7,500 people watching right now. So if you haven't turned this guy blue yet, or I don't know what color he turns on your mobile, let's do that now. And Valeria, like, you know, they can't just tell you that you look good without hitting the like button. So let's show them the hair again. You're wearing the green for St. Patrick's Day. This should be a likable day. Let's go.
Indeed, Sean, and guys, like button is a lock button today. Hit it right now and positive energy will return to you as a boomerang. Back to Sean.
Like a boomerang. I'm going to drop a line here, and if you guys know this, then I don't know if you're like as struggling as I am, but Jojo Siwa, Boomerang song. My kids absolutely love that. More the little girl that loves that one. Shout out to you, Jojo Siwa, brave girl there as well. You can look that up. Okay, GE right now. Air horn. There it is. Okay, good. Not loud enough. Air horn, GE, bang. One of my best trades today for sure on GE. My most profitable trades by far, Micron. But this GE trade, man, we really love that. And I'll show you why. Look at the 20 period, guess, same thing. You could see breaking through this 1340. We love that level. And I smashed City that level. So that was a good trade. We talked about that. I had no problem taking out the hammer. And not only that, guys, like, I'm going to tell you which trades I'm putting on shares and which trades I'm not. So I'm going to tell you when the hammer comes out. You know already, and if you guys rewind, I can go back to this MU trade. I told you that this was going to be a smash City trade through 92. That's why when you saw me getting out like a madman here at 92.30, 92.20, it's because I had big shares, right? And then now it breaks upside and we still holding on. I missed that 94 area, but ding, 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 all the way to the upside. Thank you for the likes. Still not enough, but don't worry. I'm not going anywhere, boys and girls.
I'll tell you this much. Someone actually didn't like, I saw earlier on because I made a comment. It's St. Patrick's Day. I made a comment about not being the biggest fan of Guinness. Let me clarify that. I will drink Guinness, just not in large amounts. But I will not be having any Guinness today because I'm not going to celebrate unless we can get that likes number to like 5,000. That's a bigger number. I love that GE too, but the only difference I have, and it's going to be a slight one on the breakout style trade, Sean, and look, either way you take it, it's going to end up working. When you go back, and this is my 15, 1520 is going to show you the same thing. I look at this, and this top was at 1342 and then 43. And then I tend to also look, if there's this little dip down into here at 1345, so I look at that price area, round up to the 50, and then take the 50 break. Ultimately, it's not going to matter too much. Both those trades are going to work out for you. I'm going to hang on to it. I always do this. I'm going to get out of the bulk of the trade, hang on to like a third or a quarter for a bit of a dip buy, because if we hold, now this previous push into that 45, now Sean was a 40 break, the previous push into 45, if we can turn in the same price area, it's a bit of a reload opportunity, or you can just quickly zoom out of the trade and then cover your losses and then get back in if it does retest VWAP. So right now we're looking like we're trying to consolidate. There is good liquidity on GE, but it's a 45 I want to see hold if I'm going to do any kind of dip buying this high on the chart.
Okay, No, we have that. I think it is the right. I mean, Laura, if you're watching, I think everything is fine. Brendan can confirm that in our chat. Okay, Rocket, just to give you guys a quick update, this is why we emptied some out here ahead of 25. And it's not being lazy, it's nothing like that. It's just I thought we were going to test the day's high. So we're going to have to wait to see if Rocket is coming through there at 24 or 25. I don't know if it's worth picking some more up. The NASDAQ starting to go back upside, and just right now, Rocket companies not doing too much. Nowhere near that 45 that we saw when it started to go crazy there back a few days ago, or I guess a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. GE does fall back down below, so we do get some out there at 50. And then I have some orders in the 50s now, like 51, 52, 50, so on and so forth, just to empty it out. That was a big move for GE, and we are sub 10% now on that name, about 8% left. Let's call it 8.5% left on our GE trade, but that was a big one, man. We emptied out some guns for that trade, so that was a good one. And then just to give you an update, our Micron is bouncing around. I'm here. I'm in the 60s right here. So if actually that's 57, but I am in the 60s. So if we can break back above, I do like that for potential out. Just because, you know what, if we retest the highs, that's great, but the NASDAQ kind of is upside. Micron with that 1.85% Honest Citigroup upgrade, we've already crushed this name. So we now hold, like I said, we're only holding 10% of this position, let alone what we had down here. So a big move back to the upside, and I don't plan on dropping this. Let's just see. I have bigger fish to fry, so I'm just going to sort of let Micron move around. Obviously, if we do break back down below, like something, near this VWAP or something, even though it's only 10%, still don't sleep on taking profits. I mean, if you do that, then you are going to miss out on opportunities. So we're going to watch Rocket, we're going to watch Micron, and it's only 10:40, man. There's going to be some more names to look at. I want to recheck back in on Uber.
Yeah, and sort of checking back in on names. I want to go back to this because we talked about like dip buy opportunities, whether it's reopen plays or recovery names or sort of rotation into value plays here. And you guys will follow. I played Exxon from 10 to 20, reloaded in the 17 range, and made an absolute bungle. When it came to, because I actually talked about this, like what are you going to take off to buy GE? And I took off Boeing instead of ExxonMobil, and I should have done that in the 24-25 range. If it goes to 24-25, that just feels like an obvious place to take profit if you swung back in 17 to 20. But at this thing, if the entire market sells off, which is a possibility, right? Like if Powell comes through, or I guess the dot plot, it could be comments from any of the members there. And if that's going to spook the entire market down, and we can actually get back in at like a 19 to 20 range on something like this, I gotta like Exxon. Exxon. I would say ExxonMobil. We're not. I'm looking at U.S. Steel. But if I'm gonna love a U.S. Steel down at those prices, so it's both ways. I would take profits around 24-25. I'll be buying back in 19 to 20 range, depending on where we level off here on the futures. And again, where you choose to trim positions and then get back in is up to everybody. Work with your own risk parameters. Know your own portfolios. All that kind of thing is gonna hold true. Now, we always keep it real around here, guys. So you guys heard me say, when people are bringing up Sundial, I'm like, I don't see anything exciting about the 150. I'm not going to short that price, when obviously that would have been like 100% the right call. And it's only a scalp trade here. But I didn't like it because of that close at 151, then sort of a hang around that price in the aft. And again, if I play 149 to the short side, I'm sitting in the money. It's rolling over with me right here. But just because something would have worked doesn't mean you made the wrong decision. So I can't just assume that I made a bad call there. I wanted to see size on the offer. I didn't like that level above was there. I would have liked it better at like 151, 153. But kudos to anybody that played that Sundial. Great trade for you guys that did. Now we got to go to Brennan. I see a mixed board up there for Sector Watch, but still some red.
Yeah, pretty mixed, but definitely sellers winning today. You can see the communications group here. I pointed these out just a couple minutes ago, but Viacom and Discovery among the two lead individual decliners on the day. Fox A here as well, 4% to the downside, 5.7, 7.6 to the downside for those. So the communications group among the leads to the downside. Yeah, we're down about 0.5% for the overall S&P. This is NRG in the utilities group, 14.6%. A little bit of negative news there. Speaking of energy names, also very, very red on the day. HFC, VLO, MPC, and COP leading the way to the downside, 1.5 to 2.5%. for those names in negative territory. Consumer discretionary, a little bit mixed today. Some of the airlines kind of offsetting some other home builders and also some of the consumer products. I just saw Ulta Beauty there in positive territory. But some of the consumer product names here in positive territory. Etsy, Best Buy, L Brands, DG as well, all to the downside, though offsetting. So this group is actually pretty mixed. You can see there's some cruise lines in negative territory, NCLH, RCL, CCL here as well, all down more than 1%. But Yum Brands, 1%. Higher, McDonald's above that, 1.5% higher as well. There's Marriott there in positive territory. Information technology shares also in the red outside of MU that we've been looking at, obviously, today, 2.3% higher. Everything else in the semiconductor group, pretty negative. So you got to look at the right ones if you want to be in the right direction. Real estate stocks as well. I saw a number of these little REITs, also big time negativity so far today. Overall, yeah, over now, 0.5% to the downside, guys. Back over to you.
That was in and out real quick for me just a couple of seconds ago there on CrowdStrike. Tested that VWAP at 200. I mean, I had the order and my stop, and it goes right through, busts that 199. So we'll give some of that back. Take like $1, maybe with slippage, a little bit more than that, a bit of a dollar move to the downside there. I wanted to test that retrace on VWAP. We actually held 13,000, but the reason, and I don't know where you're on my quote board. I'll have to pull up manually. I don't know why we don't see XOM there. We don't talk about energy enough. I tend to think here. But the reason XOM was on my mind is, like Brendan just said, testing some of those lows, pulling back in here to like a 58.50 area. So I just showed you CrowdStrike holding the middle. Exxon getting very, very close. I know it had some breakouts, and you had this nice move up to the highs, which was like a 58 break on the daily chart, and we're getting right back into that 58 level to see if it's going to make a bit of a retest here. So it could flush a little further. I like this pre-market low at 58.30, but certainly you got to give it back to that 58 price, which I think is going to be a little more significant on that daily chart. So ExxonMobil on the radar. I know we don't always talk about. It's been a while since we would trade them daily back when Oxy was at prices I don't even want to think about. I mean, if you just stopped swinging and actually held some things in energy, you were absolutely laughing. One other name that I know we haven't gotten to today, which I probably should have. I talked about $2 is a key price on ZOM. It has broken that level multiple times and held like 97, 98s in the last few sessions. Today, that story is at 95. Continues to not be able to follow through usually on most days. But if you look at that daily chart here, guys, sorry, if you look at the 15-minute chart here, this is what I sort of mean. Every time it takes out that 2, it tends to chop through that price. Now, if it can hold above this previous high, which would go back further on my 15, 220, that's another sort of key level if it can hold above that. I tend to be a fader off of this, and the next time it takes 2 even, I'm shorting a 190 break on ZOM. So if it actually follows through, I'm definitely going to be shorting 190 on ZOM. I don't know if that's going to be today, but the only level I'll play other than that would be if it takes out that high of day. I like that sort of previous 220. It was a good break the last time. Now it's failed before it. Another fail here at 2. So inside I don't like it. 190 to the south side. Could be a tomorrow play. Could be an afternoon play. Could be a Thursday or Friday play. Friday play, sorry. But want to have that one lined up when it does come.
Okay, I just want to hit this for new position alert because it's NEO. We've just taken a couple of shorts there. Purple is short, so short at 75, short again at 67, out at 61, out at 57 right there on VWAP, and then we're going to go short on a 42.40 break, 42.50 break, sorry. But right now we just, we're reloaded. We're short risk name at 42.75, so it's a nice little 14-cent win. We're going to get it out, I believe. No, I don't have any more bids, do I? No, I don't. So we'll get another bid out here, right at VWAP around 50, 56, 57 for another big win there, another 20-cent win on NEO. Look, we think we could get more, but I'm going to put on a bigger position if we do finally break back down. Watch the S&P right now falling, guys. NASDAQ falling as well into Jerome Powell. We talked about this, that the market was getting going, but remember, man, this is going to be a big day. It may be wise to maybe think about slowing your roll a bit here until the NASDAQ figures itself out. We just take another short there on NEO. We're going to get them all out here at 60 and then see if it breaks down lower. But Brendan, what you got, buddy?
Yeah, here we go again. New lows on the overall market. Wanted to show you skills. If you remember a couple of days ago, we were talking about this SKLZ on some news. Of course, they came out with a big offering here in the pre-market this morning. So another one that, market at or making new day lows here. This one not yet, but 26.5 here standing out for skills, guys.
Jerome, put on that Bobby Womack so we can chill out here. Look, I mean, the market, we actually just held 13,000, so a little bit of a dip, a bit short-lived. Lizzie, I did like into this like 12-20 range. If it had gotten a little bit lower into that pre-market and then opening range bottom, unfortunately doesn't quite get there. I don't think that story is necessarily done. If Lizzie's that name, if it can hold the low, and we talked about this with what's this, FTCV, of course, that was a recent SPAC. El Toro. We talked about this yesterday. If you sort of hold some of these lows consolidated below, you're going to get that opportunity for a breakout in the afternoon. The only caveat with any of those types of like a lunch hour, power hour breaks, whatever you want to call them, is that's going to be right into prime Fed territory. So I would probably prefer something like that after the number. So if we're holding the lows, then after the number, you get a bit of a rally. You can push through and buy a VWAP break. Into the Fed making an announcement, I wouldn't make that play. That tends to not be the best time in the world to take breakout trades. Huge. I just got some shares out there, so I guess getting back in at 50. We don't even get into that 60 to 65 range, so no reload there. But I just took some out for the 10-cent scalp. I don't really have a target for the rest of these shares because this stock was a 207 previous close. I can look towards some of those highs at 220, and that might make a little bit of sense. So that would just be the quarters. So you'll probably see me take this off in front of 225. It's just been an easy, I don't want to say huge, it's because it's too easy of a pun, but it's just been one of those only go short once it broke down, whether you're shorting the 3 break. I got it off the open the first time when it tested, got back in, got 75s, now taking a 50 break, and all of them are working out for me on this one. I know Brendan had it as well. And GameStop, I don't think this is, it's gotten rather sleepy. I still like 200 as a key level. If things go absolutely hairy in the afternoon through that price, I'd be shorting it. And I would love to be fading at 250, but it's got to break to the upside to get there first. Brendo?
Even the vaccine names getting hit here, guys. Moderna, just seeing day low alert just came in there through 145.40 on volume as well. So we're kind of, back to these gap levels from yesterday in the pre-market for Moderna. So that entire day pretty much erased. Just like that for mRNA.
Okay, so again, more wins, more money right now. Hit the siren for Neo as we just like beautifully played this number here as we get out again at 42.53. So we're flat on Neo. Like each one of these guys is like a 20-25 cent win about. I guess let's call it 20 because my best in is 76. We have some other ins there at 70. So and then out right now in the mid 50s. So a good trade. We're gonna wait to see, man. I'm gonna go short Neo. You guys know that coming through 42.50. So if that does happen, your boy's gonna be into that one as well. Just checking back on a few trades here. MU. I want to talk about that. We got out on this break. You can see right there, 92.65. This is stupid because we gave up $1. The target was 94. I didn't even realize it was a smaller position. Didn't realize that we had that pegged up there and that we got that high. That should have been out in the 70s or 80s there somewhere. We waited back in the 60s in case it got there. It didn't. So then we sacrificed that. Thank God it was just that 10%. So no skin off our back there and still a good trade. There goes Neo breaking through 50. So now we just wait. I think this is going to be a weak name into the market being weak. So if we're right about this and the market comes off, then yeah, we should be able to retest back down to some of these lows. I wrote down 41.50 earlier. That's why we have that short there. That didn't really pay off at all, but that reload short was okay. And then it started breaking out on the market making moves. That was these moves here. So if the market retraces back down to where we were, I think we can get we should be able to get 42 even, and then let's just wait to see if that comes through. But Neo on the watch right now. If the market bounces, we're in trouble, but we have a 43 out. So hopefully that can remain in the money for us as it continues to go down. 42.48. New position alert. That Canadian dollar of ours, Brendan, seems to be a problem. Let's see what's going on with that rate now, guys. Brendan, what you got?
Hey guys, first down day in a couple for the CAD, but we are still above 80 cents, 80.1 right now It's down about a quarter of a percent, I should say, on the day. Everything else pretty flat. Everything kind of wait and see mode as far as the U.S. dollar is concerned. So not a lot of movement in currency land so far today. It's worth noting the Swiss franc up a little bit, 0.4%, just a volatility play. Some volatile equity markets leading to a little bit of a bump there. As far as cryptos are concerned, we are lower on Bitcoin, 3% now. Ethereum as well, 1.25. Ripple higher on the day. But this chart's starting to look familiar. If you remember the last time we made a new high, we spoke about this in the pre-market a little bit. Came back into 42,800. Ended up being that low before we went up and made another all-time high over the weekend. So let's see what happens if we can come into, 51, 52, the top end of this consolidation, hold higher, and then make a new high again on Bitcoin. But down on the day again today, 3%, 54,000, as I said, 800 right now. Everything else pretty quiet ahead of the Fed, guys, coming 2 p.m. this afternoon, guys.
The Fed is coming, you say. Let's just check back in quickly on our boy Cardano here quickly. Again, I'm just using this crypto watch chart. I don't even know what this is. I'm not going to log in or anything to show you guys, but 124. So it looks like it's pretty much, wait a second. Yeah, pretty much. I was going to say, what is this? But that's moving forward. So right now, that's the 1-day chart. Let's just check out a 1-minute chart here. Not doing anything. So Cardano just staying high there. The add to Coinbase coming, I believe, Thursday, which is tomorrow. So we'll wait to see what that does once it's finally added over there as a asset that you can hold and trade, I believe. I don't know all the details about that yet. So that's Cardano coming through. NEO, the same trade. I mean, I'm going to wait till 43, like upside here. If this market wants to retrace back self down, I don't even have, like the only bids I have are basically right here at 30. I have one bid there for 20% of the position, and then I want to hold the rest until this 42 level, probably get out another 20% there, then hoping to get rid of the last 60% in this area, 41, like 80-ish. Big trade if we can get it, hoping that that is the case. GE 44s, just took some more out. Again, the market wants to go down. I mean, we're almost out of it, literally out of this name very, very soon. Bye-bye, NEO, hopefully now. Sorry, that's Palantir. But what's Palantir doing? Palantir, like, higher than it was at the beginning of the day? Okay, that doesn't make much sense. But here goes NEO, right back down to that 30 level where we're waiting. So maybe we get ticked out, at 42.31 we're bidding. Maybe I'll change that to 35. What's up, V?
Hey Sean, chat talks about Starbucks. Stock is down more than 1%. Do you guys think SBUX is a good short opportunity today?
Well,
it's probably better shorts.
Yeah, I missed the question, but I think it was about a short opportunity.
It was a short opportunity in Starbucks. I mean, there's probably better shorts to be had. I mean, it's a market. It's going to be a market story, I think, in terms of any potential sell-off. So anything that's at recent highs is going to be sort of primed for that little bit of a pullback. But I would jump to something, and of course I'm 0 for 1 shorting Virgin Galactic, which I'm long, and I actually like the stock in the long term. But I just feel like the higher valuation names are going to be what I would prefer to take shorts on a day like today. But have we broken through? Are we breaking down through this like 110? Yeah, sure. If the market rolls over, there's going to be a sell through like 110 on the Starbucks. I just tend to think there's probably a few other names, and you'll see me double dip probably in a few seconds. Well, not a few seconds. Maybe a few minutes to actually just looking at Virgin Galactic now. You'll see me double dip in that name, and I'm 0 for 1, but I'm going to take another shot at Virgin Galactic, even though, yeah, it looks like a 110 sort of a sell breakdown would make sense on the chart. If Starbucks isn't what I would particularly pick on personally.
People asking about where's our merch. Maybe, Valeria, you could do something on the screen to show people where that merch is exactly, and we'll wait for that. But people want to know where the merch is. It'll be Merch Friday. We'll be wearing the hoodie, and then we just put up some cool hats. We've got T-shirts up there for the summertime as well. Support the show that way if you can. I don't know if we have water bottles, but we do have cups up there, and Trader TV with a bang on the one side. I think we just have the Trader. Yeah, you can do whatever you want. I think that we have some Trader TV merch available there as well. Okay, a rocket. Hello. We'll see. It makes that bottom there the same bottom as before. And again, that was a good opportunity to get longer down there. And we missed that trade again. But there it goes, breaking back through 24.67. An update on our NEO trade. We did exactly what we said we would do. We took a piece off in the 30s, the mid 30s exactly, down there at 35. So I think it was 36 actually. Yeah, 36. So short there, 49. Am I short 448? Out 36. It's only 12 pennies. My next bid's down here in the 20s. So that's only 10%. So I said I'd get out 20. So 10 there. I'm hoping to get out another 10 here. And then I'm going to put some bids downside just in case we scream. And I want to make sure that we get hit somewhere in the teens. And then we'll wait for 41.80, 41.90. And this is just a play on if the market wants to fall. I know NEO's weak into market weakness. So yeah, let's just see if that theory holds true. And then upside break, I'm still waiting for 43 to break in order to get out. So the risk reward on this one should be right, but the market needs to work for us. And if that doesn't happen, then we're going to be out. Are you ready?
We're almost ready. I think I find it hilarious because we're going to go to Valeria and talk a little bit about the merch, but hilarious that we should get a Runes shirt on there so everyone can partake in that uniform. But let's go to Ms. V at the big screen.
Hey guys, following your super chat question about merchandise, let me show you where you can find it. So you go to our homepage, click on the store, and here you have all our items. We have brand new cat hats, so they're super cool. We have best sellers, I'd rather be trading hoodies, also iPhone cases and many more. So guys, if you want to be the coolest trader, go there, get our merch, post it on Twitter or Instagram, and we'll repost it. And also write in the comments if you would want us to make something else. Back to the traders.
That's the key. If there's something you don't see there that you think would be hella cool, let us know, and we'll definitely try to get that to you on there. I want to come to Pinduoduo, as we did mention this name. I mean, if you liked Coupang for whatever reason, you probably should like an e-commerce name that is a little bigger. Pinduoduo here. Not exactly testing down towards that. And we talked about these 2 weeks ago, that massive dip down that we saw basically across the board. And you'll see a lot of stocks that pushed right into previous support, that 135. So we're not quite there. We just turned around at a 140 on Pinduoduo. It is sort of prime that if the market rolls over, you're going to get a test, very likely, if we do have that kind of sell action. And this was one of the names that we talked about. I know Kathy Wood bought some of this yesterday. So my guess is anyone that liked it anywhere close to the 150 to 160 range has got to like it off support at 135. So I would anticipate that there would be some buying down there in the afternoon. So that's going to be on my radar if it goes any further. Plug, of course, already is. I said I'm trying to get back into some Virgin Galactic here. But it tested back up one time at VWAP, and I kind of wanted to see what would happen if it would get all the way back to the 32.25. It's been all kinds of chop, but it put in a triple top that I should have been playing off of, but that was at 32.75 and not at 33 even. So when it came back down, it's holding the lower highs. I want to play this consolidation. So I played Plug in a similar fashion in the other direction. So I actually want to try to place a Virgin Galactic to the short side. Getting only 32.10 to 32.25 or so short. Work the bottom end of this range, then hold on to it in case we can break that 31.70 and retest the opening morning lows. Now, obviously, I got wicked out here off the original short, which was a consolidation short off this little pop. And were there 3 chances to maybe take those fail breaks? I don't know. I would say potentially yes, but I was waiting for a higher price, and I gave that to you guys in the pre-market. I wanted to see it test 32.50 before I took a top end short. Now I can play off VWAP. That's what I'm going to go ahead and do. And I also want to come back over to, if I can, that sundial that you guys, at least some people were talking about. And I did mention if this got to like a 135, that gets pretty interesting. There's all kinds of chop and random support that sort of shows up when we get to that 135 range. And you see it hold almost to a T, sometimes dropping a couple pennies below, and then some nice bounces that it's had in the afternoon, with the exception of back on the 10th. So if we get down a little bit lower, I'd be thinking about that little bit of a long around like a 135 if I saw any size. This time, if it retests 150, because of what happened in the morning, that would be worth a scalp break for me. Like, I mean, if I can, and when I talk about a scalp break, because we have the ability to sort of, actively trade here, and we can essentially get every single penny, I wouldn't take 151 or 152 on a break. I'm talking about literally you hit 150 because I want to be getting out at that 53, 54, 55, that kind of a thing. So on Sundial, you got to be happy getting some of your profit out for 3, 4, 5 cent winners if you're an active trader. Does it have a chance to push a little bit further? Got to get through that 53, which concerned me a little bit earlier. That's why I'd be taking the Sundial for a much smaller trade. But I want to hit that 150 if it comes again and then breaks that level after showing me that it actually, there was something to it earlier on.
Okay, guys. Yeah, look, same type of thing here with thinking that the market's going to come back down. Neo, how dare you try to go back up? Siren alert on an average in right there. So we averaged in at 64 there. And then look at that. Take a profit right there at 41. Like, you know, bring it. No Chinese EVs up in this place. We're going to wait to see what happens here. Going to the downside now, 42.67, 42.64, 65. Downside right now, 42.40. We just took that bid out. Let's see how far this thing falls, man. So that's another great out for me. And here it comes, guys. We're short now at 52 with more shares. So if this market does fall and Neo is just a little sleeping giant here, needs to catch up with it, let's see if it can bring us to the promised land here. Neo to the downside, but look at this. Strong, strong, strong name. We still have our out, guys, 43 and change, but I think this one's well worth the shot. What's up, B?
All right, guys, bit of a pause so far today on the whole reopening type idea. CCL, one of the cruise lines, coming into a very important level. We held this late in the day yesterday, around 28 here, so it tested it once already, kind of coming back down to day lows, but was initially strong for Carnival. We're now down 1% right across the board for the cruise lines, guys.
Yeah, I mean, that's been a bit of a theme, and I think talking about that retracement, you have to start thinking about if you like some of those names. I know Carnival, for me, 27 is a much more interesting price than this particular bottom, and I'll show you guys on that little daily chart. There was a bit of a pullback consolidation. Of course, it was a lot deeper because a lot of names got absolutely crushed, but then a retest through 27 even. It's also a quick little 10% from the 30 high, and we mentioned that 30 break is such a key. And it's going to stay for me because it's failed on a 30 break multiple times. So at some point when it goes, I want to have that a 30 break on the day trade. But you got to wait for the next move, and the next move is not going to be a break through 30. I like the chances that we can get a 27 dip buy. Those are the only two prices I had written down all week long were 27 in those 30 areas. In between, I don't like it. If we break the low on Carnival, you can't get to 27 unless you break this low. And yesterday's bottom is 27.85. And we're right on that 27.85. It's probably more of a scalp trade because I want to be a buyer at 27. But like, I just can't ignore a double bottom today and yesterday. Even go back into like last week's action, and it's worthwhile here. So as much as the buy would be on a 30 break, which could be next week, or 27 on a dip maybe this afternoon, for now, you're taking out that low, and it's a consolidation in front of it right to 28. So I'm talking 27.85, almost right here, right now. A couple of pennies away from it. So let's see if Carnival can't give us a momentum trade down. And of course, market's breaking lower as well.
Yeah. This is where we're trying to be patient. I mean, I don't really have any other names to look at right now. It's 11:03. I'm really like this position that we're in here on Neo, and let's just, I mean, it's the same position any of you guys can get. It's just as this market continues, there we go. Yes, sir, slap shot. We'll talk about this in a minute. As the market continues to break lower, we bake patient. Boom! What a great trade that was. Cowbell alert right now as we continue to go. Maybe we have this one, guys, on Neo. We're bidding some in the 20s now. Here comes down 30, 34, 35. A couple reloads right now on the short side of Neo. And I hate, you know, again, I know a lot of you own this stock. I'd like to get into this stock, but remember, we're day traders, guys. I think every single buying opportunity, every single down move in the market is a buying opportunity to some extent, but we have that actionable event coming today, so could be something to watch out for. Boeing, on the other hand, still remaining positive on the day and bouncing right around VWAP, well, sorry, on the 3 minute. On the 1 minute, obviously, we're a little ways away from that, but right now down to 255. I think that could also possibly be a key level for Boeing. You could see here, actually now we need to get a little bit lower, 250s. We haven't really even tested 255. It was this top right here a couple days ago. That was 256.80. So let's call it 257 on Boeing. A break back of that level, and I think we can continue to work to the upside right now. So short, long rocket fuel and short Neo right now, as we do have a battery company coming through today. So we'll talk, I mean, Neo, electric vehicles, electric batteries, lots of talk there. You see Volkswagen going crazy today again due to some battery. They're going to be making their solid state batteries. Oh yeah, let's look at QuantumScape here if we're talking about solid state batteries. I'm still long this name in the 50s. I really feel ridiculous that I didn't get more down here when we went to 43, 44. But again, this was like a raising capital type of spot there for a lot of people. We had it before earnings, right? We took a shot. It was right right here, 47.48, and we had that make the move all the way to 70. And I actually thought it was going to retrace. I don't know how high, but next time we get near 70, I'm going to piece some of that off. Maybe even right now, I like QuantumScape for a longer turn. And then NEO, yeah, still just hovering, guys. That's my only idea right now, NEO. And then we can also look back into some cannabis names that are kind of bouncing, but some names, I guess, depending on what you're looking at.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny, like you mentioned, like rocket ships. I go back to Virgin Galactic, and again, you get the best laid plans. You're not going to get the price that I want, and I'm not going to chase it to 32. That was the plan of action. We're already we broke through that 31.70, right? So we're already testing down towards some of those lows. I did get that CCL. It broke right up to that 28, so I was able to actually first get the breakdown, and then get some more short in front of that 28 level. If it breaks 28, I don't want the rest. I don't want to be short at the bottom if we're going to reverse on the market, but I'll start working at least some of it out in front of that new low and then hold some for the rest of the break. If we get a retracement, I'm not going to wait all the way back here, and again, I can cancel this order. I'm not going to wait all the way back for VWAP on Virgin Galactic, guys. I can come back in at about like 31.85 to 31.90 and just get a little bit more aggressive on that particular name. The entry that I just took into CCL, keep in mind this is 2 entries. One was the break, then the reload. I'm going to scalp, right? So I'm going to take off the slight win that we just took off that re-entry point. But keep in mind, I still have the breakdown shares that are worth working to. And I'll work it like this all the way back up to this previous point at 28.15, right? So if I can get little short pops in, and then scalp those out for winning trades. It just essentially, we call it like working the position overall while maintaining the overall short. I'd love to have been doing it in Virgin Galactic. Unfortunately, it's CCL that made the downside break, and Virgin Galactic was the one I wanted off of VWAP. And the market is getting rather sleepy here, which is worth noting, but we are still testing those lows on the NASDAQ. If we ever get a real flush, you want to hold on to your shorts. I don't really have a long that's not like spread trading or market making, so no concerns there. But you want to hold on to some piece of your short trades if we do get an absolute rollover through the lows of the day. I mean, canceling bids if you're deep in the money in something and something's taking out a fresh low and you faded in front of it like CCL, that's definitely in the cards for me.
CCL, good name there, Carnival Cruise Lines. Look, it's about the reopen plays. It's about, going back and forth with some of that. Crypto finally looks like it wants to get going a little bit here. This is, again, a one-day chart. Let's throw a 1 minute chart up here. Starting to go. I mean, it doesn't look like it's that great, but off this bottom, 54.5 up to 54 and change now. And trying to go with the market. As you can see, let's go back to the market quickly here. Starting to make those bottoms, again, maybe in the NASDAQ. And if you blow this up a little bit, you could see right here, we're just cruising along. We dip below the median line there, 12, let's call it 12,980 as a holding spot. We dip below it, tests, then we come back, rip. So right now we're testing it again. So it's testing us with this NEO position, and we're gonna have to wait on it. So for right now, we're waiting out on NEO. I think it's maybe worth another average in up here. What's up, B?
All right, guys, we talked about this in the pre-market, just seeing another headline on Uber coming through, 11:04. You can see this one came out. So it looks like they're going to go ahead and grant over in the UK worker status for their drivers, and that means minimum wage and holiday pay following this Supreme Court ruling over in the UK. So you can have a look at Uber, still down on the day. Not much reaction there, off 56 for Uber, guys.
Yeah, so bye-bye Uber in the UK, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, and that's why you'll get like different reactions from Uber and Lyft. But it's weird because Uber just bounced off the opening range low, so a lot of that maybe a bit baked in, probably going to follow along with the market a little bit. So just got like I said, is CCL just pops back up. I'm going to load back in every like 5 or 10 cents or so, but like I got in front of 28s the first time. Just got some 28.05s. If I can scalp some of that out in the high 90s, I'll do that. I mean, if Uber continues this little bit of a trend, you might be playing off weakness if you can short a pop into VWAP, but I think sort of already in some short positions, and I still want to get into Virgin Galactic because the market's trying to roll over here. I actually want it to slow down a little bit so I can catch a pop on space and maybe get it at like that 31.90 that I just talked about. But if we push the lows here now, it's almost got to be a 31.50 break, and this is a name I want to be weak. That's the name I have to play. I'm in CCL, which looks like it wants to test that 15, which is going to be my out. Meanwhile, it's space that actually went down for me, and I missed the boat on that particular trade. It's a bit of a chase through 31.50, and I'd have to cover some in front of that low of the day. But I'm watching out of the corner of my eye, and I'm just looking at that market, the NASDAQ trying to head down, while the ES on the other hand, streaking up. And that's why CCL has to come off for me, because overall, if tech is going to be to the downside, it's the overvalued names that I want to be playing the weakness of. Not overvalued, but high valuation names. And I think space is going to fall into that, obviously.
Okay, yeah, just trying to control this because right now, NEO, like we just mentioned there, going back to the upside as the market does go up, we take one last position. So just making sure that I have the stop order ready to go through. Yeah, it's good to go through 43 in case it goes. We could be wrong. And we just talked about that on the market, looking like it wants to take back 13,000. So it's at that rate now on the NASDAQ. We're hovering around these levels here. So we got to wait to see, man, 1320 and whatnot now high. So we'll wait to see what comes back downside right now. If that comes, then we'll wait. But right now, NASDAQ going upside. NEO's going to follow it. We're still fine. Like, I can't believe I'm worried about this. We're out of the money now 10 cents or 13 cents. So let's wait to see if it retests this view up. Our average position just keeps getting better. So if the market does fall, we'll be into some candy right here. But again, man, upside 43 and change. We want to get out there. I'm not letting this retake days high on me. So let's just wait to see if the NASDAQ wants to get going here. I believe we can fade out more into Powell, but that's 2 p.m. So obviously, if we're day traders, we're not going to hold something that long. But let's just wait for NEO to go. If it takes out 43, we'll get out of the majority of this position, guys.
Yeah, and you're just going to come back to, I mean, Kodak was in the news here, and I'm just sort of noticing it like level off, and then like mini break here. And this is a time of day where, I mean, I've seen Kodak squeeze before, but this is on absolutely no volume. So if there's any follow through here, and again, like I'm not saying if there's going to be another push here, but if there's any follow through to this move and it starts testing into this opening range top at like 825 to 835, yeah, I'm just looking for a pop in Kodak on this little volume that it just did now, and I'll be fading into that one for sure, especially with the market sort of falling asleep. I just missed an opportunity at VWAP on CCL as I was waiting for Virgin Galactic to go up. So it's like when I want one to pop to give me the short at 90s, the other one goes and I miss VWAP and I get the other one early. So I'm just gonna be patient. I'm almost gonna be hands off CCL. I either get space here at 3190 or I don't. Let's go to Brendan.
Yeah, another one I just noticed, not sure why I didn't see this earlier, but Cassava Sciences, guys. Remember SAVA having quite the day, 15%. You got to look hard today for strength, but yeah, 16%, straight higher, 52 to 61 here, trying to break out of this daily range. A couple of analyst coverage initiations on this one, but no significant news that I can see, just a couple of positive notes for Sava, guys.
Wow. Sava Sciences. Okay, yeah, big name there, always in play as we just continue to watch this. Oh, in the meantime there, I talked about Bitcoin a little bit there. We just traded some Ether going through 17 and then long again at 17, 13 and a couple ins before getting out. So small profits being made there on ETHE. If you did want to get into the Bitcoin game, though, we talked about that a little bit already. We have BTCCB, which is over here in Toronto, and this is going to track the actual coin itself. So if you did want to get into something rather than a grayscale, which is different formation, how BTCC works, you can look it up. Its purpose, it's the first true one. As soon as you put money in there, they reshuffle everything and start buying Bitcoins with the actual money that goes into the accounts, into the stock, sorry. So you'll have to wait to see what happens with BTCC. I believe this is the best way to get involved in Bitcoin. B for Canadian funds, and then U if you're into the US game. So we're going to go to our guest of the day now with Brendan. Take it away, bud.
All right, guys, the rare earth mining sector continues to gain popularity and gain traction as more and more demand comes in for these rare earth metals and minerals when it comes to making batteries and electronics. We're going to talk to Ion Energy today and CEO Ali Haji about some mining and exploration that the company is currently conducting throughout Asia. Good to have you, Ali. Welcome to the show. Good to have you on for the first time. This is a very interesting space and a good time to be involved in this space. I mean, we mention it almost on a daily basis about, there's another EV player, there's another company looking for batteries of some sort. So let's talk about Ion Energy. Give everyone a little bit of an introduction to start.
Absolutely. Thanks, Brendan. Ion Energy is a company I co-founded back in 2017 during a visit to Mongolia. Mongolia is a vast country with a fair number of different resource projects, but lithium was really a new sort of aspect of exploration for them. We approached the Mongolian government back in 2017, looked at a bunch of data, and ultimately ended up getting a really massive land package, 81,000 hectares, very close to the Chinese border, that's highly prospective in the lithium brine space. So that was acquired in January 2019. We've been operating in country, as I mentioned earlier, for over 10 years, but we took Ion public on the TSX back in August last year, and at 81,000 hectares with a max grade of 811 ppm, very close to surface, it's a rather compelling project that allowed us to go public on the venture exchange on. The team has had a significant amount of experience in Mongolia, but also internationally. And I think you'll notice based on you visit our website, Ion Energy, but Step Gold being a sister company, we've had a number of different successes in country so far.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I want to talk about the property here as we get into things a little bit, but let's focus first off on the mineral itself. But going back to 2019, obviously we weren't seeing the interest and the hype that there is around this kind of topic and sector that there is now. What was the kind of attraction to going into lithium specifically at that point?
Yeah, I mean, 2017, tail end of last battery metals boom, lithium included. We figured it's going to come back. It's cyclical, much like everything else. And so we started up the company. 2017, when we did our research, we were granted the license in 2019. We would have loved to have been public by 2019, but obviously crypto and cannabis sort of stole the limelight. Enter 2020, pandemic, battery metals start to sort of have a bit of an impact. Resource sector starts to uptick again. But after the pandemic, the governments around the world started to tout green COVID recoveries. They printed vast sums of money. The EU, 750 billion euro, with Biden's inauguration, 400 billion over the coming years. And that money is being driven towards EVs and a green revolution. So away with fossil fuels and enter the clean, green mobility of the future. That's helped a lot of EV companies around the world sort of have this massive uptick, Tesla included. I heard NIO being mentioned on the show a little earlier here today. And ultimately, this government spending has incentivized the consumer today to buy into an electric vehicle or an EV type mobility solution. As a result, the demand for lithium has begun to increase quite quickly. We think we've hit bottom in terms of lithium pricing. And the minerals that go into batteries, lithium is irreplaceable. As of January, I think in China, lithium carbonate and lithium hydroxide prices have started to uptick as well. So it's sort of the right time at the right place, but our strategic advantage is ultimately proximity to market, being 24 kilometers from the Chinese border.
Ali Haji is CEO of Ion Energy, joining us today. Let's talk about the property in Mongolia. What stage is the company at, first off, when it comes to the mining process? And what are the expectations? What are you looking for as far as targets for the minerals that are coming out of the property?
Absolutely. Lithium is the reason that we took on this license, and that's our early indications based on the work we've seen historically shows us that there is significant lithium here. It's 81,000 hectares. It's a massive land package. It's an endoheric basin, so it's very similar to what you'll see in the lithium triangle. And our expectation, now that we've received our license and we are trading, is to continue to de-risk the assets over the warmer months using a very strong, aggressive exploration strategy. We'll de-risk Bavayul. We'll continue to work on Urgakh Naran, which is our second acquisition that we announced about a month ago. We have an additional 3 or 4 licenses we're looking to add on to our roster in country as well. So you're going to see a lot of action from the company with respect to both exploration that allows us to de-risk and ultimately acquisition that allows us to de-risk further in terms of being a one asset sort of company.
Now, Ali, you mentioned the size of the property is massive. Obviously, that's going to require time. What is the timeline as far as getting to a production standpoint, getting to a point where we have a little bit of understanding as far as what's to come?
Yeah, we've started our geophysics CSAMT last year. We're doing microseismic now on Bavayul, and that ultimately gives us a sense of the thickness, the depth, and the width of that aquifer body beneath surface. That in turn will allow us to put our auger rig to work, pull up the brine samples, get an average sample grade across the volume of the aquifer body. That gives you a rudimentary early resource indication. So by the end of this summer, we'll have a very, very good understanding of what sort of position we're in terms of what we're holding. When we talk about production production something that, it's still early days. We need to understand our chemistry better. And as a junior miner with a market cap, sub 30 million today, the CapEx requirements to take something like this into production are quite vast. So we've already begun sort of having low-level conversations with strategics that would ultimately allow us to take this thing to production in say 2 years' time. But our focus now is truly to identify and really identify the resource.
Mentioned the market valuation here. Let's shift focus a little bit to that. Obviously under some of the competitors in the space. Why don't you tell everyone why that is at this point?
Absolutely. I think, being first movers in Mongolia, a jurisdiction that's not very well understood, that has a lot to do with it. But geologically speaking, and having looked at the structure, having conferred with professionals and experts in the field, and that information's all on our website, we're well below the median enterprise value per hectare. In terms of evaluation for most companies. So post money, when we went public last year, we should have been valued about 40 million post money. We're still sub 30 million today. We've added 25% more acreage in terms of a land package with the acquisition of Urgach Narn. So you would expect that number to be between 40 and 55 million valuation today. And we're still lagging behind that. I think it has to do with jurisdiction, A, and B, purely because we're a new company that's out here educating the market like we're doing here today, Brendan.
Yeah, it's an interesting time and an interesting space to be in. As we mentioned, let's talk a little bit about the sector itself. Where do we see this? Do we see demand just continuing to kind of snowball as it has over the past 2 to 3 years? Where do we see this demand going, let's say 5 years out and then maybe even further down the road?
I think, more and more producers are going to have to find unconventional ways to start to produce lithium that goes into batteries around the world, given the fact that we're buying, a lot more EVs per capita in the Asian side of the world than we are on this side of the world. We're going to catch up pretty quickly. Government mandates that are stipulating that we move all our mobility to electric vehicles or face hefty fines. That in turn will also drive up the adoption rate. So demand for lithium, in our view, is not going anywhere. We've seen that the prices come up in China as of the last 2 months. We've seen the likes of Volkswagen with their massive power day on Monday start to talk about their electric vehicles, BMW Group not too far behind. So ultimately, lithium prices, in our view, not going anywhere. Demand, in our view, definitely going to snowball. And what better opportunity than to be closest to the largest market in the world, and that being China.
The stock currently listed here in Toronto, ION on the TSX. If you want to check it out, guys, on the OTC market as well. Any plans for an uplisting in the future?
So we're on the QB today, and we did that back in January. We knew that the U.S. market was a strong enough market for us to look at. We also want to go over to the QX at some point once our audited financials are done. But I think, the more visibility we get on our stock, the better we perform. But ultimately, the QX is where we'll stop for this year.
Ali Haji is CEO of ION Energy in the rare earth mining space. A good place to be at this time in present time. Anyways, great to chat with you today, Ali. A pleasure. We wish you the best of luck, and we look forward to an update.
Thanks very much, Brendan.
There we go, guys. A little bit of look at ION Energy. Yeah, a rare earth mining company, Canadian company, operating over in Asia. Guys.
Thanks a lot, Brendan. Crushing it as always in a fantastic interview. ION here, have the daily chart up. We did see that, so if you want to trade it, listed on the Venture Exchange. Look, we only have about 5 minutes to go. You guys know that it is a bit of a Fed day, and we are seeing some moves in the market. Just to update, I did get that position eventually in Virgin Galactic, so it does push into VWAP. I was sort of like, oh my goodness, why is CCL making the move up and then getting that fade? So I do get into this one at 91 as an average price, built in a couple of times. Took it on the way up because I wanted to catch something if it tested, but finally filled out the rest of the position when we actually got some consolidation and held that 32.05-ish area. You can give this one to like a 32.20. We're still hovering in that same range bound, just slightly cracking 13,000 on the NASDAQ and then sort of bouncing back up into this like 5-10 handle range. So we're in the bottom end of the range. We're still down that 1%. We haven't had a lot of movement. I think that's the kind of thing, going into Fed Day, whether they're going to make a rate change or not, which they're not in this particular case. Oftentimes market will go to sleep. So have those stocks that, and we've mentioned a couple of them, that if there's going to be those big dips you want to buy into. I was looking at Caterpillar, most certainly is one. I was talking about U.S. Steel as well that I want to be buying into. If you do see some of the sort of not reopened names, but I guess more the value names that actually participate in the sell-off. and then know what you want to fade into, like whether you want to sell some of the higher growth types of names or those sort of high flying, high valuation types of plays that have been overextended. So have a plan of action going into it, anticipating that for the next hour or two, things might lull you to sleep, but it's the calm before the storm potentially, Sean.
Yeah. I mean, we can look back. I don't think Powell really hasn't moved the markets that much. We're just waiting to see if there is any sort of forward-looking statements, things like that about, you know, potential rate. You can obviously, we'll watch to see what the 10-year does at that time. Someone asked me, what am I doing with my Neo short? I told you I'm waiting. I'm waiting upside 43, you know, 43.11, 43.12. Like these are the kind of the areas now. Not just a clean 43 break, because we've done that a couple times to no avail, right? And so I'm not going to give it all the way to 43.27 or anything like that. But it's really at this 43. I mean, I gave it to you already. My stop trigger 11s. So maybe I shouldn't have said that, but we're going to wait to see if it gets back up there. And then for now, my average price is 57. So just thinking the market wants to turn, and we could be completely wrong. And hey, I'd be happy if I was wrong. But for right now, we're long Rocket. Companies at 63. That's not doing anything. Just, I like to hold Rocket. And again, guys, I mean, you know, we could get another one of those moves. I would not make a lot of money with my current position, but I like to hold Rocket just in case it starts going. It's one of those trades that allows me to visually see, you know, the net starting to creep up. And then if I'm holding a position on Rocket, it's still a decent position, but I'm holding a position on Rocket so I can sort of level up and be able to watch that stock. As right now, the only big position that I have on that I'm sort of caring about is Neo. Well, I only have two on, so it could be one or the other. Brennan, again, what's up?
Yeah, it's wait and see time heading into the Fed, guys. So just caution needed, I think, before we get to 2 p.m. this afternoon. Remember, decision and the statement come out at the same time at 2 p.m. than the news conference to follow. There are some earnings, nothing terribly exciting, but let's have a look at what's coming up either after market tonight or before the open tomorrow for earnings.
There's lots. Yeah.
Lordstown, look, it better be good for them, at least decent earnings, or they're going to get beat right back down into that flush range, of course, when that short report did come out. So watch out for them. But because there is that short play in ride, if it does come out well, you could see some squeeze potential, particularly there. I talked about Sundial already. We've gone over levels, and I think that's going to be. I didn't trade it today, and maybe I should have. I probably should have, but I think tomorrow for certain, I'm going to be playing off of that 150 level if it's anywhere hanging around that particular price. So the story here is going to see how the dot plot goes. Are they going to strike that dovish tone that the market wants to see, or are we going to have a bit of a not a sell-off, but adverse event maybe to the downside and maybe across the board if market doesn't get what they want. What you guys want to see is what national data is today, and I think everyone already knows. I wish I had a better green shirt. The only other option I had was my Michigan State t-shirt that I'm not going to wear on the show. Let's go to Ms. V and see what national data is. You guys know.
Thank you, Neil, and hey guys, thank you very much for joining us today. I hope you're all having a good day so far, and before you leave, please make sure to hit thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. We will see you tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and happy National St. Patrick's Day, everyone.
Green beer, Guinness, all of those good things that you'd love to be able to do so and celebrate in good health and enjoy yourself to the best of your abilities. I know here we have limited options because in Canada we're still mostly locked down. Boo! I want to enjoy some St. Paddy's Day like we usually do. But it is what it is. It's been a fantastic show. It's been a great one here, Sean. Just a fantastic interview by Brendan, and of course in a space that I think a lot of you guys should care about with lithium. And as always, you know what we like to do around here, guys. We have to go down the line, but I also want to remind everybody that bottle of champagne is still unopened. We need to get to 200,000. On the subscribers, guys. So if you take a chance, take a moment, hit that sub button so we can get 200,000, because I just get thirsty looking at it every single time they're up on the stage next to Brendan. But for the entire team, for Miss V, for my man Sean Katina, for Brendan Wickens, I'm Neil Roberts. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a Guinness. Bye, guys.